The goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. And that is the reason why the truth, no matter how hard, is not as dangerous as a lie in the long run. The Bible says, you shall say the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So you see, truth telling is fundamental in our way of life. Good morning to all of you across Liberia, wherever you are listening to us. Good morning to you. Welcome. This is the OK Morning Rush on 99.5 from Lynch Street here in the Monrovia. It's on a Wednesday, 12 February, a day after the celebration of Armed Forces Day in our country, a national holiday. For the first time, a sitting president was here as guest speaker. Madabio made history, and the current command of the armed forces and the Ministry of National Defense equally made history. It was a colorful ceremony yesterday at the Barclay Training Center. Thanks to the High Command of the military, headed by Chief of Staff Major General Davidson Follett, and the Ministry of Defense family for everything. Welcome to the show. Good to always be here. If you're not feeling too well, we're sorry. Hope to get you back on your feet soon, sooner than later. My name is Piso. Interesting country. Let's take a break. Let's join our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Liberia, the sun is shining, and so are your opportunities to enjoy 24 hours current with Funny Brothers Corporation Solar Solution. Why let the power of the sun go to waste when you can make use of it to generate current for your home, business, or community? With our state-of-the-art solar panels, you will enjoy 24 hours uninterrupted power, reliable energy, a greener, cleaner Liberia. Funny Brothers Corporation Solar Solution offers top quality, durable, and affordable solar panels designed for Liberia's sunny climate. So why wait? Call us today on 0772 262584 or visit our showroom, Clarence or Umako Building adjacent the RB Bank. Funny Brothers Corporation Solar Solution. Let's power your future with the sun together.
The Banking Institute of Liberia, the training arm of the Liberia's Bankers Association and the Central Bank of Liberia, announces the commencement of its professional training program in the following categories. Professional development training. This targets graduate and seniors and degree holders. Courses we offered include microfinance, banking and finance, public accounting and finance, audit and internal controls, procurement and supply chain management, monitoring and evaluation, compliance and corporate risk management, work planning and report writing, office administration and organization management, customer service and human resource management, project planning and management, and computerized accounting, which includes QuickBooks, Excels, and Tally. Duration for this program is 3 months. Tuition is just US $275. The second program covers business development training. The Banking Institute of Liberia also offers training for high school graduates and college students in small business development and management and microfinance management. Duration for this program is just 2 months. Tuition stands at $205. All of our fees are payable in 3 installments. Training program at the Banking Institute of Liberia are facilitated by bank executives and financial experts. BRL is committed to providing professional training to all of its clients at international standards. For more information, visit the Institute's office on Warren and Kerry Street's intersection in the old Microfinance building of the Central Bank of Liberia. Banking Institute of Liberia, the Center of Excellence in Banking and Financial Management Training.
Service, internet service, fast, reliable service for your home and your office. Unlimited service with the best coverage. You better choose Connect, Connect, Connect. Choose Connect, Connect, Connect.
Looking good is business. So why not switch up your wardrobe at Jolomel Clothing on Lynch and Kerry Street's intersection. Jolomel Fashion House, the first of its kind ever, specialize in the newest and modern designs of proper suits for gents and ladies, wedding dresses of different designs and style, evening dresses for any event. At Jolomel Clothing, your style is in your hands. Check our casual men's sportswear tailored to suit your fashion sense. Matching suits for that new and lovely couple. African suits for any traditional wedding. We have fashion photo kits as well. Dress slipper for men for any proper suit. Jolomel Clothing, the fashion house that is full of style and a sense of glamour. Jolomel Clothing. Call 0777-644-644 or 0886-556-865 for any information. Jolomel Clothing, we make you a celebrity.
Attention, attention, attention to all lovers of the good things in life. A house is not a home, and a home is the one place where you should feel relaxed and accomplished. Your home should reflect who you are. So, it's time to make that upgrade with minimal damage to your pockets. And I have the perfect solution for you. Home Sweet Home, located on Benson Street, between Center and Buchanan Streets, got you covered. From the kitchen, we have air fryers, juice makers, pressure cookers, freezers of all sizes, and all the modern kitchenwares you can think about. From the bedroom, we have top-of-the-line, exquisite beddings to give you that great night's sleep because you have earned it. And soft, comfortable towels for your bathroom. And in the living room, we have high-definition TV sets of all sizes, unique aerial rugs, classy curtains in all the colors you desire, wall paintings of different sizes and colors, furniture, and everything you can think about for the home. All that at unbelievable prices. We even have low voltage, high quality washing machines and dryers to keep your clothes fresh and new at all times. As a bonus, we have fashion accessories for both the young and the old, designer quality bags, hats, and rare jewelries. So if you love yourself, your family, and your home, it's time to treat it right. Visit Home Sweet Home on Benson Street between Center and Buchanan Streets for that needed upgrade. Or you can call them on 0886 834 944 or 0770 581 420. Home Sweet Home for the love of a classy home.
Welcome back to the OK Morning Rush on 99.5. It's always good to get you listening in the morning or watching us from wherever you are. In spite of life challenges, The Gibson and Ogonti families announced funeral arrangements for the late Samuel B.A. Gibson III, who passed this world on Sunday, January 12, 2025 at the, I'm not sure of this time because today is January 12. I think they wanted to say something else. At the John F. Kennedy Memorial, we're in February, who passed Sunday, January 12, 2025 at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center in Monrovia. The late Samuel B.A. Gibson III, commonly called Junior or Bandy or Mills by his family and friends, was born in Lamco, Yekepa. He is predeceased by his parents, Mr. Samuel B.A. Gibson II and Mrs. Comfort Ogonti Gibson. He lives to mourn his loss, his fiancée, Madame Andre Zoe Johnson of the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority, his sisters Roslyn Gibson, Malish, Patricia Gibson, Tula Gibson, Genevieve Barrow, Gonka Sonja Gibson, and Famata Gibson Johnson. His children, Kenneth, Michael, Bendu, Amot, Lajita, Sandra, and Naira, and a host of grandchildren and relatives. Sam was a former student of the Cathedral High School and Ricks Institute and the 1984 graduate of Fatima High School in Harper, Maryland County. Funeral arrangements are as follows. Removal and wakekeeping will occur at the Samuel Struggle Funeral Palace at 5 p.m. on Thursday, February 20, 2025, and wakekeeping service will be held at the Trinity Cathedral on Broad Street from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. On Friday, February 21, 2025, the funeral mass will begin at 10 in the morning at the Trinity Cathedral on Broad Street. Thereafter, interment will take place at the Kesa Memorial Lawn Cemetery in Burrillville City. This announcement was brought in by Madame Andre Zoe Johnson, fiancée, Patricia Gibson's sister, Tula Gibson's sister, on behalf of the bereaved family. At this juncture, we bring you to this edition of the Fact Check segment.
Good day and welcome to the Fact Check segment. This segment debunks disinformation and provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. On February 10, entitled House Speaker Fanati Kofa claimed in a Facebook post that Liberians in the United States remitted approximately US $800 million, an amount he said was higher than the 2023 national budget. A personal remittance is a transfer of money or goods between a household in one country and a household in another country. It can also refer to the income of people who work abroad for short periods of time. To verify this claim, we began verifying the source that Chancellor Kofa relied on and found that the screenshot he shared was taken from Statista, a global data platform which showed that the total inflow of personal remittances to Liberia in 2023 amounted to US 800 million. However, the data did not specify that this money came solely from the United States. A further review of the 2023 Central Bank of Liberia's annual report revealed that inward remittances to Liberia were US 801.8 million, which included money sent from all countries and not just the US alone. Based on this information, we conclude that a claim made by embattled House Speaker Fonati Kofa that Liberians in the US remitted approximately US 800 million in 2023 is misleading. The US 800 million remitted to Liberia in 2023 came from all countries, not the US alone. However, Kofa was correct in noting that the amount was higher than the national budget. On February 10, Councillor Moriah Yekula Kokpok posted on her Facebook page claiming that the Liberty Party is the first political party in Liberia to have both a female chairperson and a female political leader. She made the claim following the climax of the opposition Liberty Party's annual convention with the election of Representative Ruchi Barry as chairperson of the party, with Senate Pro Tem Nyompli Lawrence as political leader of the party. To verify this claim, we conducted research into Liberia's political landscape. Our findings from available data show that the claim is indeed correct. While several political parties in Liberia have had female leaders or chairpersons in the past, no party has held both a female political leader and a female chairperson until Liberty Party's recent developments. Historically, the Unity Party was the first to elect a female political leader, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. However, the chairperson of the Unity Party during her tenure was male. On the other hand, Senator Nyompli Lawrence was the first female chairperson of a Liberian political party, but her party's political leader was not a female. It is important to note that while other political parties have had female leaders or chairpersons, no party has had both roles occupied by women until the Liberty Party's current structure. Therefore, Councillor Moriah Yekula Kokpok's claim that the Liberty Party is the first political party in Liberia to have both a female political leader and a female chairperson is correct based on available data. This is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, Orchid FM, Pram FM, and Cool FM to counter disinformation to help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media Empowerment Project, implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the editorial decision, leading to the production of this Fact Check segment. We will be back on Friday with more Fact Check reports to help you know the facts. If you want us to fact check claim for you, please send us a text to WhatsApp on 0777 556 296 and we will definitely check for you. Also follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, Twitter at LVF Fact Check, and go to our website www.localvoicesliberia.com. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Well, thanks to Local Voices Liberia for everything you do for our country, putting to spotlight some of the statements made by policymakers, politicians, and ordinary people. as part of efforts to get the records straight. The fact check segment is here every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the OK Morning Rush and the Afternoon Conversation. Castle Zobat is watching. Josephus Agbad, I'm sure Josephus is watching from Banka, Bon County. Josephus, good morning. Joseph Sakor is following. Sarifina Harris says, good morning. Okay, family. James Laming is following. D. Bolo, I'm following the show, he says this morning. Robert Mumbo, watching from the U.S., not the U.S., but from GSA Road in Pinsville. Jerry Gay is watching. James Nelo is watching. Sam B. Cole says, good morning, OKFM. I'm watching from the Paul City of Buchanan. Julie Peel will always follow us here. She's watching from New Jersey. Estate P. Esau Otale is watching from Johnson Street. Konoa Boyman is watching from Kentucky. That's Louisville, precisely in Kentucky, the United States. James Gaga watching us from Iowa. He says that Washington T. Cassell is following us from 13th Street in Cinco. Victor U.J. Morgan is watching us from Pennsylvania. He's following exactly from Morrisville. Samson D. Saley is watching from 72nd Community. Emmett Kamara follows us. P. Gacker also watches us. Patrick Smo is watching us. Evelyn Davis is following us. Beatrice Munsat is watching. Momo Zokad is watching. And etc. and etc. and etc. All these people are watching us right here on the show. Good morning for always watching us in the morning. President Joseph Boakai has suspended the Deputy Director General for Administration at the National at Enfield, the National Public Health Institute. President Joseph Boakai has suspended Dr. Adams, and this is 2 hours ago. President Joseph Boakai has suspended Dr. Adams Lincoln, Deputy Director General for Administration at the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, with immediate effect. This decision follows a review of allegations regarding the unauthorized removal of Enfield property and a resolution from the Board of Directors. Dr. Lincoln's suspension is indefinite, without pay and benefits, pending the outcome of an investigation by the Board of Directors, the General Services Agency, and the Liberia National Police. In the interim, all institutional assets in his possession are to be turned over to Mr. Mohammed Kiadi, who will serve as acting Deputy Director General for Administration. President Boakai reaffirms his administration's commitment to transparency, accountability, and good governance in all public institutions. And so, as a result of the situation at the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, the president has suspended the Deputy Director General for Administration, Dr. Adams Lincoln, and appointed somebody in his possession. Dr. Lincoln has been suspended for time definite without pay, benefits, and whatsoever, pending an investigation by a panel. I like to say it that way because it is a composition of the board, the LMP, and the General Services Agency. Remember the other time we're reading some documents, and I didn't conclude that time when we had an electricity issue here. Enfield issued a statement, and they were recommending, and in that statement, the institution was recommending that the president suspend Dr. Lincoln for wrongdoing. Let's watch it. Let's move on. Let's see how it works. Now, there are too many allegations of corruption in the Boakai administration, but let's not be judges. These people are accused, they get suspended, they will go through investigation. My only kind of thing is, I hope the same way, the executive mansion can put a statement that this person has been suspended following recommendation of the board, of the days, of the dam. When these investigations are concluded, it is fair that they come back and issue a statement to say this person, has been reinstated, or if the person truly did what the person has been suspended for, the office should not just, most of the time, sometimes you don't hear again, the person just remains suspended indefinitely, and sometimes they put people in the places. But we should issue statement that the person has been dismissed. Maybe following investigation, the person was held culpable. That way we know that, this person did something, Well, I think in the midst of all the other things that are happening in the country, I think there are a little bit of some good things happening too. But mind you, this is a 2024 Corruption Perception Index report, the first year of the Bouaka administration. It is not this year, so it is not capturing from January to this month all the corruption allegations, all the things. No, they are not part of it. This is 2024 latest Corruption Perception Index report of Transparency International shows Liberia improved by 2 points from 25 to 27. Yes, from 25 to 27, Liberia improved by 2 points. This is good. This is good. This is very good. At least we are moving gradually. And remember, this is a perception index report. Yeah, the way people think about how the country is corrupt, the way people in the country are reporting on corruption issues, the way the government itself is reacting, responding, or taking actions on corruption issues. I show there are things these people look for. They put together to say, oh yeah, the country is making progress. So this report is saying, unlike 2023, where Liberia was a little bit down, 2024, Liberia managed to get 2 points, getting all at least over again. But it means that we need to do better. And I think the grading gets from 0 to 100. But we need to do better. We need to do better. Thanks to the government. It means that last year you did well in all your issues about your fight against corruption and all these things. You did well. Let's see what you can do better and even, your best in the next coming year. When, the Kenyan scholar, P.L.O. Lubumba, said something, you remember, there are many speeches that P.L.O. Lumumba have made in different places. I think this particular one was when he was talking to the Nigerian parliament. He was talking about corruption. And he said one thing, he said, in Africa, it is difficult to fight corruption because when corruption is not at people's doorsteps or people are not directly affected, I'm not quoting him verbatim now. I'm just, people don't think that it is corruption until probably it's at their doorsteps. He said the fight corruption is difficult because people look at the fight against corruption from different lenses, from different perspectives. Some people look at it from a tribalistic perspective. So when one of the kingsmen, when one of the tribal person is accused of corruption, they will go all out and defend the person with their sweat and their blood. Instead of giving the authority the opportunity and the chance to investigate, they will acquit the person in their mouth before the investigation even starts. Why? Because the person is part of their tribe. There are some people who will fight based on their political affiliation. Because this person is from their particular political party, if the person is accused of corruption, they will not allow the law to take its course so that the person can exonerate him or herself. They will go all out and be chanting and shouting slogans to say the person is not corrupt without an investigation. But when it is not from their political party, from their tribal group, they say the person is corrupt. Interesting country. And there are some things we're not getting rid of anytime soon. So Rosalind Swakoko is accused of corruption. Rosalind Swakoko, I think she's a law school student, or she may have just graduated from the law school. But I know she law school student or some kind of thing about the law, right? But she got lawyers too. So there is a presumption of innocence under our law. That doctrine says, if I'm accused Only a court of competent jurisdiction can say I'm guilty. That is the reason why even at the level of the police, when the police carry on an investigation and charge the person, the press people can still say alleged. Then people can say, but the man formally charged, how you still saying alleged? Because we are not caught. Because the possibility is that the person can say different thing to the police station. By the time they get to court, the person can say, oh, hello, they forced me to say it. So the law will be on the person's side until a court can determine it. So Swakoko Dennis is accused. She gets suspended by the president. She gets invicted by the Anti-Corruption Commission. And guess what? Her supporters go to the place with placards in their hands. And they say, oh, we did not come here to fight against corruption. We are say we want fight corruption, but the president is selective. Then they start naming institutions. Hi, but the other person. Hi, but the other person corrupt. Hi, but the other person. Hi, but so in other words, what you're saying, the person we've come here to support actually did what they say the person did, but another person alone been doing it, or another person alone did it. So even though we know that the person did it, they brought the person here, but other people do it too. Let them go bring it. That the country we live in. And we are the same people who will be shouting, oh, the government corrupt, the government corrupt, the government corrupt. Then when the government gets ready to act, then we go to placard and say, oh yeah, we're not saying the president will not take action, but we're saying that, well, now, since you are so honest and sincere like that, why you have to wait until somebody close to you got accused and indicted? All the other counting you were doing, oh, the other person, what's about the other person, what's about the other person? You sat in a town, you were well, why didn't you take placard? You should have taken your placard to go to the executive mansion to say to the president, Mr. President, we believe you are very selective in your fight against corruption. You didn't do that. Had Swakoko Dennis not be suspended and subsequently indicted on allegation of corruption, you would not have gone to the place. So that how we treat the country. We the same people can say, oh, they want happening, the government, we'll be the same people who say, oh, the street just packed, people, everybody just selling everywhere. People can't even get space to walk. When the government gets ready, say, you know what, we'll remove people from the streets because people are not supposed to be selling on the street. We come back and say, oh, but now the only way the people can get their daily bread, the unemployment rate in the country too high, the government moving the people, but we're waiting, election will come. They're already there. All. We are the simple who say, oh, everybody can be selling gasoline in the streets. It's dangerous. Oh, it's causing problem. When the government say, we're ready now to raise people from selling gas in the street, we say, oh, but what the facility the government have for the people? When the government take the people from the street, where will the people go? They're already there, our mentality. At some point, sometimes we really don't know what good for us or what we want. Sometimes we really don't know. So you go carry placard to the place and you say, oh, we can't stop anybody, but we think the president is selective. But saying the president is selective, everyone saying you thought I want. But because somebody probably too close to you has been accused. So you say, but then we got to go there. But yet you want the government to fight corruption. And this is one thing all of us agree on, that corruption has been and continue to break down the fabric of our country. But when the government say we want for corruption, no, that one, but we can't take it. Once the president is close to us, we come back. We got to change our minds and our attitude, like Dr. Larry Burpley would say. Until we can do that, it will be difficult. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. There are a lot of things. And sometimes the government just need to be intentional about some things. Now, so there is this situation at the House of Representatives. Funanti Kofa went to the court. The court ruled the way it did. After the court ruling, everybody is celebrating. I've always said, I'm my first time to see people go to court. And when the court rules, the two parties say, that mean correct, that mean correct, that mean correct. To the extent that lawyers in the country are even divided divided on interpretation, not negatively divided, but different lawyers will speak to you differently about the Supreme Court ruling. COFA will go further to pray the court for a bill of information to provide clearer understanding about the court's interpretation. As it is, the court is yet to rule on COFA's bill of information. Some of the lawyers would say, well, you see, the court is not forced to do that. And if the court did not do that, it implies that what the court said in the previous ruling is stand by that previous ruling. But mind you, the previous ruling is confusing. People say it's ambiguous. Other lawyers will say, no, that the man prayed the court for a bill of information, the court supposed to rule. The court can't leave some people like that. And other people will argue, say, but the parties had lawyers. Both parties had their lawyers. So the lawyers supposed to tell them what the issues are. But of course, both lawyers told the people, we won the case. That is the reason why the two sides were celebrating. Now, fast forward a few months later, the president goes to the legislature as part of the function of the legislature, as provided for by our Constitution, to do his State of the Nation's address. The entire Supreme Court bench is absent, creating more speculations around the country. We reach out to the spokesperson of the judiciary. He's here to talk to us about why the entire Supreme Court bench was out. Even though the Chief Justice, it is clear that she was out of the country on official assignment somewhere, the remaining 4 associate justices, including Justice Kaba, Justice Bese, Justice James Eto, Howard Wolokoli, and Sianen Clinton, all of them were not there. Different interpretations. Some people say, oh, the justices did not go there because had they gone there, they would have legitimized the speakership of Rachel Kuhn. Probably that's why they didn't go. Somebody else said, no, that is not because of Rachel Kuhn. They did not go there because Musa Belete and others had gone to a lower court to file a bill of information, and that lower court declined, and Musa took flight to the Supreme Court. So there's a matter before the Supreme Court concerning the same issue. If this had the associate justices or the Supreme Court bench gone there, it would have, it would have been illegal. It would have been not illegal. It would have been against the law because it should have heard, it should hear Musa Belete's appeal before anything. All these arguments are going on. A member of the Supreme Court bench, I don't know whether he went on a farm in Nima or whatever, goes and say the clear interpretation of the court's ruling. I will play it again, and I know you heard it this morning in the news. Before I say what I want to say, I just wanted to set the basis. Let's hear Justice Busy.
You know, some time ago, when we did not turn out for the president's address, they begin more of a news than the address itself. That was the common way of trying to avoid getting involved in potential conflict. You remember conflict going at the House, the Supreme Court, when they appeared before us, we made a decision, and the effect of that decision was that, look, our law required that the House should have a quorum, and that quorum should be presided over by a speaker. Now that you, the quote-unquote majority black, have a quorum, but we don't see a speaker there, so whatever you do, ultra-viral. Otherwise, it's illegal. We turn to the minority black, say, minority black, the law says, until you can get majority, get quorum, you must continue to adjourn from day to day and compare the other people to join. But there is no statute that tells you how you compare the people. You don't have a rule that tells you how you compare the people. So you two will remain there until you get majority. Whatever you do is ultra-viral. So on the both sides, the Supreme Court clearly saying that go and solve your problem. We don't have law to that effect. We are don't our own. We're not in control of politics. If for some reason the Senate decide to recognize majority black, President recognize majority black, and government function is going on, then we receive an invitation from the Speaker. Our question is, our presence there means that we are recognized one side of it. So the best thing to do was to remain who we are. That was the rationale. Many people don't understand, but that was the right course.
Now, this is Justice Basic. Until he can come out to say this is not his voice, this is his voice. Until the Supreme Court, entire Supreme Court bench can come up to say this is not the position of the Supreme Court bench, others will take this statement as the position of the Supreme Court bench, because Justice Bese is a member of the bench, and so he comes from the bench. The way the bench is thinking probably is what he is articulating. Now, my point is, so how was it so difficult for the court to be as clear as Justice Bese is articulating in this interview or in this audio we just heard? How was it so difficult for the court to, because you see, when people go to court, they go to for problem to be solved. Yeah, the court interpreted article this and article that. But the court did not say that, look, our ruling is that, how do you call it thing? Complainant Fonati Kofa, you do not have the quorum to do business. Even though you are still the speaker, you do not have the quorum to do business, and there is a provision under the law. The majority block, you people have the majority, but you do not have a speaker. So everything you're doing is ultra vires, is illegal. Fonati Kofa, you too. How can it was how was it difficult for the court to have been clear the way Bese is clear so? But the court ruled in a way that I don't know it was careful, or you see the confusion now in the country. Yesterday, while the armed forces day were going on, James Colette, the head of the committee on for the rules order administration, others, they were over there and they were bossing the place and trying to put in battle speaker Fonati Kofa things outside, because in their mind he is no longer the speaker, and so they had to open his office because they wanted the speaker, the new speaker elected by the majority, Rachel Kuhn, to go in there. The court is saying, you go do your business. Our Bese said, he said the court say ultra virus, you go do your business. But because that ultra virus was not clearly articulated, so now you say, so in other words, Bese is saying all the two sides are wrong and they are operating illegally. But here is the catch. The catch there is the Supreme Court or Bese is saying, yes, Fonati Kofa, you are still the legitimate speaker of the House of Representatives. That is the catch. Is that what the court was shying away from? So who is putting us in all the problem now? And sometimes I'm wondering whether the new Liberia National Bar Association under the leadership of Councillor Bonavama will come up publicly and talk about some of these issues. So in the court's effort to be extremely careful, this is where we have landed. Now, the associate justice will go in the corner now and be talking the way he's talking, but the court could not expressly say clearly what the court thought. So you can leave everybody speculating. You can leave everybody speculating. I strongly believe that if the court was very clear to say the majority, you get a majority, but you do not have a speaker, everything that you're doing is ultra vires, is illegal. Mr. Fonati Kofa, you're still the speaker, but you do not have the majority. Everything you're doing is ultra vires, illegal. Apparently, the House of Representatives would have had a different thought, and they would have thought about resolving this issue differently. But the court did not do that. So everybody started celebrating. Of course, these people are lawyers. The other argument is people expect that the lawyer will understand exactly what the issues are. But the lawyers understood it the way they did. That's why they told each of their clients, we won the case. Then the Supreme Court is coming now. Justice Bese, I insist that until the Supreme Court can issue a statement that, look, Bese spoke as an associate justice, his view does not reflect the entirety of the bench, we will say this is what the Supreme Court thought. And if this is what the Supreme Court thought, but the Supreme Court is supposed to be an independent institution. So the court ruling is supposed to be, why are they afraid of? So who put all in the problem now? People bossing people office. The argument is they didn't have a warrant. That's the reason why, and James Colette was saying, when Fonati Kofa come here and ever went for court, that's the reason why they're doing what they're doing. Because they are taking advantage of the court ruling. In the mind, the court only say you go settle your problem. So they believe they have the majority. Their problem is a political problem. They will solve it politically. Because that's what the court say, you go solve your problem. We can tell you what to do. Because there is nothing in your law that clearly states so you go solve your problem. But now you didn't say they both parties. So Funati Kofa insists that he is on the side of the law. That's why you see Musa Belete and others came up with a group called Rule of Law Caucus, because they believe that they're on the side of the law. If the court has said that Funati Kofa, whatever they were doing was illegal, whatever the majority were doing was illegal, maybe Musa Belete said will not come to count with any group called Rule of Law Caucus. So my point is, who takes responsibility for the continuing crisis? What was the court hiding? Why was the court not as clear as possible? The court should have been clear. The court should have been very clear with us. But that's it. We'll go up to 8:30. We'll have a guest here that will take us up to 9. 9:30, Vice Standard Bearer or the running mate to Alexander Cummings in the 2023 elections, Councillor Charlie Mlan-Brunsking, will be here as our guest. Since the elections, we have not heard from her, man. How is life? What is she doing now? We'll talk about the recent Liberty Party or retreat or convention or whatever. We'll talk about that. So the court should have been clear. There is a new political party whose papers are at the National Elections Commission. And don't be surprised in the coming days or in the coming month, you will see a new political party on the block. It's called the Citizens Movement for Change. That political party is going to be called the Citizens Movement for Change. The political leader of that party is supposed to be from Nimba. I will detail later. But I know they are almost at the verge of getting certified as a full-fledged political party. And come to think about it, Justice Bese is not just an associate justice on the Supreme Court bench. He is the justice in chambers. That's why I said, until the full bench can issue statement to say that man was talking as an individual, our interpretation is that this is the position of the Supreme Court bench. And if this is the position of the Supreme Court bench, how was it difficult for them to make this position clear? So the court is supposed to be finding remedy to the many problems in the country. Like Cynthia, we always said about the asset recovery and gracious wrath. I would be happy if the court got the case on its docket for a decision tomorrow. We're hearing that the Supreme Court will be making a lot of decisions tomorrow. And I'm told the court is about to close. Because if the court doesn't rule in the gracious right and asset recovery case, I don't know what's going to happen. It's gone 9 months now. The government says it is intentional about the fight against corruption, even though people see it differently. And the fact is, there are other issues that the president is not taking decision about. Fact. But the asset recovery is an integral part of what we're supposed to do as a nation. Had it not been for the court process, but now maybe the asset recovery team has gone far ahead. Prosecuting people, sending people to court, retrieving government assets and all these things. But the institution cannot do it because there is a matter before the court. Yet, the court took 8 solid months. Until today's date, it hasn't come over ruling. I would be surprised if the Supreme Court did not include the asset recovery case as part of the cases to rule on or to rule in. Look, Gracious Ra did the best thing to challenge the constitutionality of the asset recovery establishment. That's the fact. So the court should do the needful. I didn't know that the justice then can explain court ruling clear like this, that they were not able to explain it until the whole country, everybody just say, oh, the other person won, the other person won. Then justice Justice Wese would not come out to say, this is why the court, man, that's why we never went for because how we gone there, we were going to be taking side. The issue is not about taking side. We don't want the court to take side. But the court ruling should not be ambiguous to the extent that the whole country is confused and lawyers are confused. We are told that precedents in the past, in the Snow case and other cases, the court has been very clear. And I was sitting somewhere one day and somebody said, a lawyer was telling me, Clarence, that thing could not be a Johnny Lewis bench. Johnny Lewis would have been as crystal clear as transparency is. The lawyer was telling me, say that was Johnny Lewis, because Johnny Lewis was not Johnny Lewis didn't care. The law is what he was protected by. Johnny Lewis bench would have done a ruling in this country that would have been very clear. And the president even went to tell me that the Siena York Supreme Court bench, probably it could be one of the worst in our most recent judicial history. Well, maybe I'm not done research on it to establish that. But this is a lawyer that was telling me this. So here is where we are. Fanatic Kofa said he was right. Richard Kuna said they were right. Because the code didn't say who was doing it's just you ultra viral. Yeah, you use ultra viral, but Councillor Gbese is using ultra viral and illegal. It means they really knew what to do, but they didn't do it. People should be running to the court for redress. We can't have a country where when somebody do something to somebody, the person say, I'm not going to no court. I will do what I can do, because after all, when I go to the court cell, they will not rule. They will rule. They will talk about ultra viral. It will not be clear. People should be running to court. That's why we on the radio every day. We are encouraging people. We are encouraging people to take advantage of the law, because that is the thing any civilized nation will do. But if people should be taking advantage of the law and they go to the law and the law ruling in a way that nobody understanding anything, then what is it? You know? Yeah, somebody say, I don't care how the Supreme Court was going to rule. The majority was still going to do what it was doing. Yeah, but let the Supreme Court set the record straight. The court is not a political place. They're not a court business to be doing the regular politics on Capitol Hill. No. But it was the responsibility of the court to rule in a way that lawyers themselves would not even be confused. 0777 7009995 0555 995 995. Okay, I see. They said Justice Bessie made a statement at the opening of the federal return of court in Sanikole. You see? So Justice Bessie did not even say in somebody ear, you're not talking secret. He spoke openly. And it means he was intentional. At the court opening, say they know too much in the country. I will say it clearly what we meant by the decision we made as a Supreme Court bench. So he was not talking secret. He was talking sanity at the court. My question is, why they couldn't say the same thing in the ruling? Why they couldn't be as clear as it was at the court opening in Sanikole? Let's hear from you, Liberians, this morning on 0777 70099 and 0555 995 995 and the other numbers right here on the OK Morning Rush this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much. This is Philemon Esfire. I do call you from Police Academy District number 5.
Yeah, and before you go ahead, even the Justice Minister, when he interpreted the Supreme Court ruling, the court did not even chastise him. So everybody said, but then what the Justice Minister say, what the court meant. You see that? Go ahead.
Okay, you see, Mr. Clarence, Mr. Jackson, what happens in our country is this. Those things will continue to persist because if you have a father in the home, even the children, when the child does wrong, and if the father can be bold and tell the child, this thing you did, it was wrong, the child will not do it. That's what happening in our country. You see, even let's just go for the bureaus of people that have been, how they call it, suspending from the bureau ministry. suspended for time indefinite and will not see the government to go to reinstate the people back or to really come to the public. The person will never reinstate the person. The person is so thing. It is true. It never happened.
No, no. I think it happened. It happened recently, a few months ago. I may not be exact with the names. There was an investigation at the Ministry of State, and one of the persons there was reinstated. I don't remember the person's name, but I remember that incident. Two persons were dismissed. One of them was responsible for human resource at that Ministry of State, and the mansion issued statement that one of them was reinstated. But that was just on small things, something about payroll partly, something like that. Yeah.
For that we cannot come down. We're talking about look at the lack of how you call it, email. I will get to that. You see, even as a nation, for me, I from the health sector. If a patient leave from their home and go to hospital,
yeah,
they would expect to be treated if they go contrary tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Now, what I want to do, let me take the regular callers for 15 minutes. I will come back here and do something, because during the budget process, every ministry and agency and institution of the government will usually appear before one of the houses or the joint committee on ways, means and finance to defend the budget. I want to know whether the judiciary ever appeared, the administrator of the judiciary. I want to know whether the administrator of the judiciary ever appeared to defend the budget, and before and which of the committees they appear before. But let's take Bong representative for Foley family. Representative family, good morning.
Good morning, Clarence. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, Clarence, I sat down and listened to your monologue as to what your thoughts were. Irrespective of whether I differ with you, I didn't feel the need to be set straight. The first thing is that it is sometimes in deception. I don't know whether the voice on that recording is actually just
it is the associate justice. They say he spoke at the no I coming now. So don't be wondering. I'm telling you that he the one. He spoke in Sanikore at the opening of a court. So it was a public program.
So the reality is that sometimes our people, we wonder whether they have clear understanding about the law, or are acting in their own political undertone. I say this to say,
our people in this contest, you mean who now?
In the context of justice, we say.
Okay.
I say this to say, you are aware all of the minority took a flight before the justice in chamber. And it is the same Justice Bese who presided over that matter. It is the same Justice Bese who ruled that there was no legal basis to grant Kofa's block and a legal relief. And that case was thrown out, that they had no reliance, they had no authority to question the standing of those who are acting in majority at the legislature. The same Justice Bese. The same Justice Bese was part of a block of justice who ruled to the point where we came out and said, in the ruling, if you see the ruling, and that's why he needs to go back and read the ruling. Sometimes people sign document and they do not read it. In the ruling says where the speaker, or the deputy speaker. In this instant case, the deputy speaker has been present and presiding. Go back to the reading, Clarence. Go back to the reading and pull out the aspect that speak directly of this ultra powers. This speakers aspect, the deputy speaker. Meaning, when the speaker is not there, the deputy speaker can preside. The Deputy Speaker has been presiding, and the Supreme Court ruled. And in that context, the solicitor, the Justice Minister, provided more clarity to that ruling. There had not been any point in time where any justices or the official bench has come up with any contradiction to that position. So to take a sidewalk conversation, I think it's just a normal political thing where someone can say that liquor talk.
No. Those are your words, but it was not a sour talk. Or sour talk.
I'm saying this because
I come in representative family. A sour talk is a talk where you're talking secret to somebody, but it was yeah, maybe
you are not speaking in your official position or stating what is the official position of that matter.
No, he was speaking in his official position because he was speaking as an associate justice at the Supreme Court of the Supreme Court bench. Fully are coming now, Chief. 1 minute. You talk for almost no way, but you talk for almost 3 minutes. Let me talk to. Bessie was speaking in his official.
I'm providing.
Yeah, but let's do it small now before my own thought wear away. Bessie was acting in his capacity as an associate justice of the Supreme Court. He was speaking in a court of competent jurisdiction.
My question to you, Clarence.
Yeah.
Can you equate Bessie's statement to that of the 5 justices on the bench?
Well, that is why I am saying.
No, that's my question.
No, but now Sunday school class here. That's why I'm saying. Now I come in for it. One minute, Chief. If you follow me closely, I said there are 2 things that are going to happen. One group of people will say, until the entire Supreme Court bench can issue a statement that what Bessie said is not a position of the bench, people will say it is the position of the bench because he's an associate justice. The other side, other people will just say that man was speaking as an associate justice, as an individual, but his view does not reflect the view of the entire Supreme Court bench. But let me ask you one question fully. Do you know as to whether, I don't know whether you're on the budget committee, did the judiciary appear before your joint committee or the majority committee to defend its budget? Normally, do they do that? Somebody told me they can do it through their administrator. Do you know about that?
The judiciary appeared before the Ways and Means Committee, and they've been able to submit. They have been in conformity with the budget that was passed, even.
You mean they appear before the Ways and Means Committee at the lower house, the majority block?
They appear before the Ways and Means Committee. Let me just say this, maybe you are not aware. As I speak to you, there is this serious concern and confusion in the judiciary where judges and magistrates, justices and magistrates are at all, where the same budget that was passed, the judges has gone ahead and taken some money.
I'm aware of that. Talk about that.
They are aware. They have taken some money and distributed that money among justices,
and leaving out the magistrate.
20,000 per judges. Listen, people. You know, when we want to avoid corruption, we are speaking every day, Clarence.
Thank you, Foley. Thank you.
Let me just lay on this note, Clarence.
Yeah, please lay. Yeah, we gotta go on.
One who speak equity should come with clean hand. These people, character has been brought to the mud. They are not providing any clarity.
Thank you.
To the issue of Justice Bessie, I can tell you, none of them has refused their January pay.
Thank you, Foley family. And the reason why I'm asking, and I will say if the judiciary appeared before the majority block to defend its budget through the court administrator or whoever, until the judiciary the judiciary need to issue a statement and say that is not true, the judiciary did not appear before any majority block for budget hearing. If the judiciary appeared before the majority block for budget hearing, was that not legitimizing Rachel Kuhn as a speaker? So if you legitimize Rachel Kuhn as a speaker because you appear before the majority block to defend your budget, why did you stay away from the State of the Nation's address? I'm saying if Let's talk to more callers. Good morning.
Good morning, Veteran Clarence Jackson. Let me say good morning to the people of Nigeria.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you. This is activist McLean Render, and I do join you this morning from Luja, over here in West Point, Library United for Justice and Accountability. Veteran Clarence Jackson, quickly on two issues. Let me first say to people who will often used by political tissue in the process when the government are all in gear to fight corruption. Mind you, some of those comrades that were at the LST are comrades that I personally know from Mount Barclay. To be precise, around Morning there, right behind Morning there, there's a ghetto there, and there were Madam Dennis to all of local reform. I believe that we have a greater responsibility in this generation to perform by enlightening the minds and sharpening the contradiction for some of our commerce will be used. And at this point in time, we should put all the things on deck and try to support the government in years of all going against corruption present in our country.
Thank you, Chief. Let's hear other callers. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Eric White here.
Eric, good morning.
Firstly, I want to differ with you on the statement that those about the young people who gathered at the LACC.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should be commending them. I don't think, because one thing they said, they were very clear. They didn't say this woman is involved of corruption. They didn't say she's involved in corruption. What they say is what you have been preaching over time, what I have been preaching over time, what others have been preaching over time. That listen, the issue of selective justice is wrong. What happened to Brisbane? What happened to LTA? What happened to Modar? Is it because that this lady is a stepchild?
Baye.
Yes, sir.
Anyway.
Hello?
You followed my context, right? Were they here? Have they been hearing all these things about the Modar, about Grace Pay? Do they know and they know about all these things?
So, Clarence, if they have known about it and didn't take the step and decide to take the step now, is it wrong?
What makes it look not good is the fact that because somebody that is supported is being accused, then they say, okay, so Sen is saying that the person do the thing, we too go in there now. No, it is not wrong. Listen, all of us every day, we want the best for our country, right? We got to be honest and careful with the way we want the best for our country. Like you, Eric, maybe you can get time for certain things now. But when somebody close to you is hit, then you take the front stage to protest because me got interest. But it's okay. Go ahead. I respect your view.
Now let me close up quickly. Now, what I just said to you is just simple. They went over there. If these people had just gone over there and say, "Oh, leave the woman," whatever. One thing they did, now I admire. They say, "Hey, we are not here to that she should not be prosecuted, but they should be holistic." On the other issue of the Chief Justice, I heard our lawmakers saying
Associate Justice, right?
Associate Justice. I heard our lawmakers saying some of these people don't understand the law. Listen, these people understand our law.
Mm-hmm.
They thought to put us in conflict.
To be associate justice is fight among equals.
Exactly, they succeeded. I mean, how can you be crystal at the bar discussing issue and you cannot be clear to us where you put heads of lawyers, luminaries in this country were so confused.
Mm-hmm.
And what about some of us that knew nothing about the law? And then don't go far. You were talking about whether they defended their budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. If this Chief Justice is saying we didn't go over there because we have taken SAR, if you took your January pay,
yeah,
have you not taken SAR? Because at January pay, the budget was signed by the man who you do
the
not
very rich
consider.
who you say you not recognize that the man signed the budget, you not take your pay.
Then you have taken your pay. Now let these people bring back the money. Otherwise, their integrity. Listen, that's the last error. That's the epic center. That's the last center of our justice. They say the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice. So if you, who we rely on, cannot have can have an integrity that is questioned, it means the country is.
Thank you,
that
Eric.
Glorious Scott, let me close on that. What the former Chief Justice Glorious Scott said at the UP convention, that everywhere is inclusive.
Thank
it means the judiciary is inclusive, executive everywhere. This is wrong.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. 8:30, we're expecting our guests. We are still taking your calls. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. Sorry for my voice, it's bad. My name is Mama Sikaba.
Do you sing in a choir? You don't sing in a mosque. You don't sing nothing. But
we don't sing in the mosque.
Yeah, but you
we do not sing in the mosque.
Yeah, why you can be anyway? Like shout, you can be shouting when we hear my
But
score.
every day, no, I'm working on my that team. I beg you, man.
Go ahead. Yeah, my man,
Alright.
John on your.
But they know I didn't want to be there. They know that. So, Mr. Jackson, you know, to be a public figure, it comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Oh yeah.
And when we are speaking to public issue, no matter how angry we can be, it is important to demonstrate some level of maturity. For the lawmaker to have said that the Associate Justice's statement was influenced by liquor, that is being disrespectful. It is not a representation of a representative. Imagine if an ordinary caller had called on your radio and referred to the lawmaker's statement as a liquor tour, you would have cut that person off. And I think that was low. He should not repeat it. It's not a representation of him. I just wanted to clear that. The report you read about corruption perception, is it by Center?
No, Center is a local partner for Transparency International. So whenever Transparency International release these reports on the ground, they will have press conferences. That's the usual thing. It was released by Transparency International.
I am extremely disappointed in that report. That report is questionable. The report does not represent the reality on ground. And it is just unfortunate. I hope they don't want to remind us of the days that they used to come out with reports, and those reports did not represent the reality. How can they tell us that this government has tried to fight corruption perception in 2024? Was it not in 2024 when 25,000 United States dollar was allegedly distributed among lawmakers for the removal of the speaker? What was the perception of the public? Was it not in the same 2024 when the Minister of State was being accused of corruption regarding NASCOP? What was the perception of the public? Was it not in 2024 when the United Party chairman was being accused of squandering a fund that was intended for the celebration of the inauguration in 2024? What was the perception? The acquisition of the yellow machine, wherein they did not follow any procurement process, was it not in 2024? The accusation against Ministry of Public Works for bypassing the procurement process, was it not in 2024? How can they tell us that the government did well in the? This is unfortunate.
Except that sometimes. But do you know how their grading is done? Do you know what they look for? Do you know what the issues are? Because you got to know it first before you condemn or say the report not correct. Probably all the things you listed are not what they look for. Maybe I need to ask Anderson Miami.
Exactly.
Maybe we need to ask him. Yeah, thank you. Maybe we need to find out, because you raised an important issue, but we need to find out because these institutions do things differently. What do they look up for? How do they determine a corruption perception? You know, all these things, we need to know them. Yeah, when we know, then you can make those kinds of statements. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Piso, and good morning to your valuable listener. I'm Chairman Critical Momo Johnson, or you call me Critical for short.
Yeah.
Piso, two things quickly. I'm on my way, on my hustle, but two things quickly. I got my other hand say I should call, the other hand say I shouldn't call, my other hand say I'm supposed to call. But question people, one question is, do they have any branch of government or any entity that is harder than the judiciary? Yes. I think think they should grab all of the justices and state justices to put them behind bars or else. Because those people will still have problem in our country today. If you notice for the burning of the capital building, it was because there was no outcome from the coast that brought the capital building to be burned down today. That is one. Two, people, those who believe that our government has brought to power, they will not go and root and steal, and they will not be exposed. They are joking. And what happens to swap they are calling on our government. They should definitely every entity of business that will have their heads to pocket down. Because you know what? If we just suspend you, we not prosecute you. Believe me, myself will put me down tomorrow. I can likely have a man to say I will not take my own and I will not be suspended. I have to prosecute them.
Thank you. Let's hear you. Good morning. Let's focus on our main lines a little bit. Please call the main lines. Yeah, we got 3 main lines here for people to call. Yeah, go ahead.
How are you, Mr. Jackson?
Good morning.
Yeah, okay, I'm Leo Duro calling from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of your talking points. I think I would like to talk about the Supreme Court issue.
Mm-hmm.
The Supreme Court did not do justice to the Liberian people. Because lawyers would have, we say they have fair eyes. You cannot, in time for you suspend you when you stop you rule, you make a ruling about Flamenco. But you are clear to tell the Liberian people what happening. So they idea to interpret the Liberian people. So they didn't do well for Liberian people, and they just let the entire country suspend. And now the justice of Nimba, he wants to kind of start changing. They didn't do well for Liberian people.
Thank you. Let's go to our main lines. Call these lines and stop calling personal numbers, man. 07777000995, 555-026-995, and 555-995-995. There are 3 numbers. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence. Good morning.
Yep. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, but Clarence, you answer my call you.
Yeah,
Clarence,
so the way you're talking, other people call on a standby. That's how the thing is.
Yeah.
That's
but
how
Clarence,
it is.
Okay, Clarence. I'm so disappointed in your thought this morning. The manner in which the way you talking, the manner in which the way you spoke this morning. Especially if I was, am I right?
Hey, my man, you on the radio, boss man, chief.
Okay. Especially the way you spoke at that time when the video we are. You saw people want to go bother rap. That is not you are letting the people say inspiration. We ask other. This man I spoke to you, I know you the one I went to the office of the speaker and found out the speaker of the air. So you therefore then you not spoke the way you because the weird term, but now you could be calling the president. What very happy people want to be as a P, you're going to be speaking slowly. And I saw you this morning speaking on those things. And even condemning it. I'm very disappointed.
Thank you. Just hold it line one bit, don't go. There are certain words I don't use on radio easily. You don't follow people very well. The word condemn, no. Not even a weird regime. I don't use condemn. I mean, I'm very different. I don't use certain words. I don't use on radio. I don't use certain words like condemn this, that. Maybe you're not following my context. I am saying yesterday the people went over there, the boss, the speaker office, and probably they're doing so because they believe they won the case at the Supreme Court, even though they did not get a rate for any court to do what it did. But because the Supreme Court ruling was the way it is, everybody say, all right. So the Supreme Court say, y'all go solve your problem politically. So in their opinion, they are solving the problem politically. What else did you want me to say? Maybe your choice of word use, I may not use them, and I can't use them. I'm careful. I don't use that word easily. To condemn. I don't use condemn easily. Hello?
Yeah. Good morning.
But I respect your opinion. It makes the show better. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, big brother. So I'm Delani. I'm Ishmael J. Delani.
Ishmael, let's hear you.
I join you from Central Monrovia.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I witnessed the saga at the Capitol yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What I observed, I saw a police officer was there in uniform, and I also saw a sergeant at arms. But the appearance of the police officer speaks to the fact that the Ministry of Justice is in a no.
as to what was going on, or they might be the one who gave them the instruction to do what they did. But here's it. You know, doing the past regime.
But what's the process of getting document out of from the court to do what it did? Is it with the Ministry of Justice, or you got to go to the court for an invasion order?
No, I have been witnessing too many occasions where the court has given a writ along with a sheriff to go and invade someone place.
Yeah.
But again, I have been saying the same time about numbers that, let's say for instance, the analogy I want to explore, doing weird regime. There was a time where the president during campaign time, he went to a parliament and making this statement that as a president but as a partisan when he spoke against the U.S. family.
But we took it as though we didn't take it against we are as an individual. We took it against him as a president of the country.
As a president, exactly. So when the judge, when the associate justice, we say we make such a statement, it is from that background that you see those that are in the majority black are carrying on these acts. So I have been saying this time with all numbers that the judiciary have been playing a right role. The judiciary was needed to be blown as to what they say and what they nobody can do. Like I saw on one of the social media platform called Base TV, it says BASE, Base TV. They acknowledge the Supreme Court as to they acknowledge the public as to the decision they made yesterday, and they emphasize on that thing also viral. So like you said, it is because of that that those lawmakers are doing things what they see that they are doing in their own political way.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Coming up shortly, we'll take our guest. I don't know. We're still trying to. This person keep calling, not all the lines. Hello.
Yeah. Good morning, Sergeant Clarence Jackson.
But I've been announcing these lines. Call these lines. Call these lines, but just go through. But you should have called this line.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. In the news, we are about political slaughter and Burmese. I call you this morning from the Congress City in Congress. People of Clarence Jackson, the government is not serious in the fight against corruption. You cannot continue to suspend people and then send them to LACC and then there is no result. What happened to Amin Moda? Amin Moda was accused of using government money, taxpayer resources to purchase a vehicle. Today, he resigned his position and no outcome. Where is it? So why is the money? Where is the money today? You have the lack of offenders.
No, but Amin Moda they accuse Amin Moda of taking money.
96,000 United States dollar car. What was he going with? It was a less corruption.
No, listen now. Yeah. It was a car issue, but the way you're making it look like you say where the money. When you say where the money.
No, it was a less corruption. Like taxpayer money he used. Why he resigned on corruption issues. The one that who took the money and gave it to your project the figure for him, he still remain on a job. What happened to Summer was the SEC, the people money they put money in his store. What happened to A? He stayed there. What happened in the investigation? This government is not serious. Mr. Blatter should be serious. He shouldn't fund NAS and corruption. He shouldn't be selected in the fight against corruption. So we can like the issue of the capital building with the quote-unquote majority law. The Supreme Court is clear now, except the Supreme Court have been clear too, or except that some people who want to politicize, want to plan out. The Supreme Court told you clearly that everything that you people are doing is ultra viral.
Thank you, sir. Can we get you here?
Sorry.
Yeah. Chief, good morning.
Yeah.
Let's hear you.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm good.
Yeah, this is Dennis. I'm calling from Boston. Dennis, morning.
Dennis, let's hear you.
Yeah, this morning I listened to you when you were talking about Tropical Dennis case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it reminds me of Liberians since 2005. We said we want war and economic crimes code. 2011, we want war and economic crimes code.
Mm-hmm.
2023, we want war and economic crimes code. 2024, but I say, okay, I'm ready to establish it now. Liberians will go and say, no. In that assembly, can you imagine? We say we want for government to fight corruption. When government ready to fight corruption again, they will come and say, but why not do the other one? Why not do the other one? So I mean, the person they prosecuting, they not prosecute the person. There's a process in investigation. They are saying the woman so. They say she's suspended while she's going on investigation.
Okay. Let me take you quickly before I take my guest. A final call. Our guest will come in quickly. They can come in now. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Quickly before we take our guest.
Do you know the power of an uncle?
Hey,
uncle
Chief,
power?
you're on the line. Please go ahead. Don't bring no traditional thing.
No, I want you to first of all acknowledge that you know the power of what it means to call someone uncle.
We're talking
Then,
after the radio.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Then again, you see that I got two wives who complain that I do not give them full money. Federal Toru Kokwe and Memesi Kaba. When I say let's support real marriage, say real marriage at team. When I say let's go to United Party, say United Party at party. Then when you see me the street, say full money, I just give a bottle of water money, ain't no so down, we just forget about who part of go to the wall, we settle it. Because you know what, listen to me. But listen, Nima, Lofa, and Ponkante, you gotta be careful about how people make statements that you know what I'm talking about. Because the palm wines in those countries are very powerful. Not just strong palm wine. So when people make statements in those places, those statements will be validated. Meaning the Supreme Court that you say, got the Supreme Court talk. But other than that, maybe before the bar association and you know the
No, don't do that, Charles. Don't do that, man. Bye-bye.
Sorry.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. I will have to let you go. You can't do that. Let's respect each other, yeah? That man was very sensitive to what he said over there. I mean, he didn't do he calculated. He knew he would have spoken at that occasion. He planned what to say, and he went about and said what he said. So we can't do that. That man knew that man is a justice in chamber. He's an associate justice. He used to be a judge. He knows the law. He's read the law upside down. He understands it. Look. To get you appointed as a justice on your country's Supreme Court bench, it's not a joke. They look up a lot of things. Your experience, your character, your reputation, your integrity, and all these kinds of things before they put you there. But anyway, our guests are here. They come from a group called the Youth Network for Positive Change. They will tell us about the group and what do they do. Madam, you want to come to the mic a little bit so you're more close to it? Good morning to the both of you. We can start the conversation with you. Just introduce yourself.
Good morning, Clarence. And good morning to the wonderful people of Liberia. So my name is William Kerr, and I work for the Youth Network for Positive Change, UNEPO for short. As the programs and project manager.
Okay, let's hear you.
My colleague.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jonelle Fejorkane, and I also work with the Youth Network for Positive Change as the programs and projects assistant.
Okay, so one of you will firstly tell us what is this Youth Network for Positive Change? What do you do? When were you established and those kinds of things?
So the Youth Network for Positive Change is a youth-led civil society organization, and it was established in 2014. It has a track record of implementing evidence-based projects on health, youth empowerment, fostering community development in Liberia. So over a decade, UNEPO has impacted the lives of over 20,000 youths in Montserrado, Nimba, Margibi, Bong, and Grand Bassa counties.
Okay. So go ahead.
The organization efforts has been consistently addressed with pressing societal issues, including access to justice, HIV and AIDS prevention and services, climate change advocacy, and inclusive governance. So in this year, for FY25, UNEPO aims to build on this legacy by focusing on sustainable development, strengthening health systems, and empowering marginalized groups.
Yeah, so additionally what my colleague have said, Over the past 3 years, our interventions have been specific in the health issues. Like she mentioned HIV and AIDS, but we have been specifically looking at pandemic preparedness and response over the last 1 year. So we have done so much more as a civil society organization to impact the lives of young people across the borders of Liberia.
Okay. Why are you here this morning, particularly?
Yeah, so before I go to that, so should have been 3 years. My boss is on his way in while he was join later.
Okay.
Yeah, so this morning we are here to increase the citizens and our listener knowledge on our project called the COPA-CE project. And the meaning of the COPA-CE is the community engagement in pandemic preparedness and response. So we can basically to inform the public why we have been working on in regards to our COPA-CE project.
Yeah, let's hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So the community engagement in pandemic preparedness and response project is an advocacy-based project. That project was awarded to UNEPO since July of last year, and that project is it's a global fund funded project with Art Africa as lead, and UNEPO is an implementing partner in Liberia. So given the impact of COVID and Ebola on the marginalized community, the project seeks to promote inclusive participation and systematic approaches in pandemic preparedness and response processes in Liberia. So basically we are working across the 15 counties of Liberia. It's a national project. We are working with marginal groups, marginalized groups such as people living with disabilities, civil society organizations. We are working with slum dwelling communities. These are diverse groups that we are working with to ensure that their voices are heard, their voices are elevated when it comes to pandemic preparedness and response issues in Liberia.
Yes, you want to add on?
Yes, so we have key stakeholders that we've been working with for this project, including the Ministry of Health, the NFIL, the NAC, National AIDS Commission, and other important social society organizations within Liberia.
Okay. Now, why do you think pandemic preparedness and response is so important, especially in the context of Liberia?
Yeah, this is a very important topic when it comes to pandemic preparedness and response, given all of the impact posed by the previous pandemics, like looking at COVID and Ebola on Liberia. We realized that there were processes that wasn't inclusive. We realized that people, marginalized community, they didn't have access to discussions relative to these to pandemic issues in Liberia. So I think this project is very important because it's ensuring that all of the marginalized group are inclusive in decision-making processes. Yeah. Okay. So like my colleague said, we have been working with diverse group, and we are close partners now with institutions that are taking lead on PPR issues in Liberia. Looking at Ministry of Health, looking at the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, looking at the National Disaster Management Agency. These are institutions that we are partnering with to ensure that their processes when it comes to responding to these issues are inclusive. So now, before the birth of the project or at the inceptional stages of the project, we conducted a desk review and stakeholder mapping that gave all a clue on the entire PPR landscape of Liberia. So that mapping inform us who are the institutions, government institutions and agencies that are working on PPR issues in Liberia. And we were also able to engage civil society organizations, health-related or PPR-related civil society organizations to gather their views on how they are participating in PPR issues in Liberia. And that study informed us that there was limited participation for communities when it comes to PPR decision-making processes in Liberia. So after that, we got those views from diverse groups. We were able to organize a meeting, establishing a project steering committee. So the project is very inclusive. We are the lead But we are leading with diverse organizations. UNEPO is the lead, but we have diverse organizations who are also working on this project. So we established a project steering committee comprising of both government institutions, civil society organizations, and communities. And we meet regularly on a quarterly basis to ensure that issues relative to PPR are discussed and elevated. Additionally, we are working with people living with disability because these are key people. These are people who were mostly affected by by the previous Ebola and COVID-19. Their voices wasn't heard. The SOE they didn't understand well because there are people who are visually impaired. There are people who have hearing impairment. These are people who usually face this issue. So we ensure that we gather their views and propose to national government to ensure that whenever they are making decisions relative to PPR issues in Liberia, these people's voices and all marginalized community voices are inclusive into decision-making processes.
So what are the key gaps and messages or the goals of this whole PPR advocacy agenda that you want the public and your partners to understand, for example?
Yeah, so Clarence, to tell you, like I said, we conducted a survey, and that survey informed on some major gaps when it comes to PPR issues in Liberia. So key among those gaps were limited participation for communities. So yes, the government know that there are civil society organizations, but back then the felt civil society was more of what people say. So yeah, civil society is only a watchdog to community, but we are more of that. We are here to complement government efforts based on the diverse thematics that we work in. So take for example, if there are health issues, we are closer to the community. We get to the community more easier and faster because we live in the community and work for the community. So we realized that communities were not participating in PPR issues, PPR discussions and PPR issues across the country. So that was a key gap. So to address those gaps, we ensure to establish a project steering committee and map our key PPR platforms. So when I talk about key PPR platforms, they are platforms held by government agencies strictly relative to pandemic preparedness and response issues in Liberia. Like the NFO, they have a platform there that is directly responsible for updating the public on a weekly basis on the PPR issues in Liberia. National Disaster Management Agency have their own updates too, whereas Ministry of Health. So we engage these platforms and inform them that, oh, this is it. We realize that community have not been participating in PPR issues in Liberia. So to ensure that it is effective and they are inclusive in these systems, we want you to inform us whenever the meetings are occurring so we can send a representative from our project steering committee to participate in the meeting. And since then, it has been so fine. Each of these meetings, our community have started to participate, and members of our project steering committee are participating in PPR issues now. So those are the gaps, and this is how we are addressing the gaps.
Okay. You want to add something to him? You want to say something to him?
We can continue.
We can continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move on by the project you spoke on a lot about it and some of the things you're doing in the different communities. I hope your hair will come before.
So so what we do if it does not reach in time, before you open your phone, when you open the phone, he will phone in and give his input before you open the line. So he might be the first to phone in. We already talked about that.
Okay, but all right, don't worry. No worries.
I think he's listening right now.
Yeah, I wanted to see what I can get him immediately.
Yeah, you can do it. If you can call him now, I will really appreciate it.
Can you do that? I don't.
Yeah, I can.
This is the Morning Rush. We're taking our guests from the Youth Network for Positive Change. They are here talking about the objective of the institution and some of the other issues right here on the show this Wednesday morning. We hope we can get there. Is he the executive director?
Yes, Mr. Lieta is the executive director.
Okay, we can get the executive.
Yeah, I think he's on the line.
Okay, let's get him there. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you, Leo?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Yeah, so you're listening to your other workers talking about the institutions, the institution and the work you do. You want to add up?
Yeah, thank you, Clarence, and thanks to the colleagues in the studio, and thanks to the Liberian people for listening. So, the Copper CE project is a unique project that tried to put Liberia in a position of preparedness for pandemics and ensuring that everyone's voices are heard and that those who are mostly affected during pandemics have seat at the table. So, like William said, most of the time, like previously, we had the SOE hour during the COVID-19 and sometimes during the Ebola crisis. You notice that if we have like 2 hours, for example, to navigate our way through and get wherever we want to go back to our real homes and observe these hours, people with disability are not given special preference during that time. So we all have to navigate within the same hours and periods. And take, for example, if you have awareness messages, they are not put into braille so that those who are maybe visually impaired, will be able to still access information and understand the situation. So all of these issues, looking at them, we think if you are discussing about people of such, they need to be at the table because they understand their unique issues and they can be able to tell how you can reach to them during this time. Another thing we're also addressing is that there is the funding available for preparedness in this country is nothing that we can depend on really to secure us against any major pandemic or epidemic. Look at recently we had the issue of the mpox, and we've been working with MPhil to develop a 6-month plan. And imagine our 6-month plan up to now, there's no funding to really implement that plan because Liberia never had any allocation or specific money set aside to say, okay, just in case we have a national health emergency, this is what we're going to be using for that. So we are also going to be working and advocating through the House, which is the legislature, the both houses, the health committees, to see how best we can be able to, they can be able to appropriate some funding specifically in the budget for pandemic preparedness and response. Because we are all, listening, and in Liberia and globally, there are a lot of health issues that come, but our country needs to be prepared, not only with system, but with the financial resources to be able to navigate during that time so that they will be able to put the situation under control. So this is what the Copper CE project is doing. And then also ensuring that civil society that are working in this various sector, have their own voices being heard. So it's all about amplifying the voices of the voiceless, we'll say, and ensuring that people are actually at the table and giving the right decision and rightful inputs to ensure that all of what we have for this country in terms of pandemic preparedness is well taken into consideration. And also, there are international reports that are also done by the Ministry of Health and MPhil, like the JEE's report is a report that evaluates the country's entire health system. So that report, when normally they are doing that report, they don't include civil society or even these communities that are supposed to get their input so that the actual story can be reflected in those reports. So like last year, Liberia did her JEE reports is being published on the Ministry of Health website and also the WHO website. But when you look at that report, it's not reflecting the voices of communities. So these are some of the gaps we want to fill in. And next time, when they are developing the kind of a report, because it's a scorecarding report, they should be able to ensure that communities are represented and they have their voices. And there's another big work plan that I also work along addressing a gap that has been developed in our JEE report. That is called the NAPS. So the NAPS is a 5-year strategic plan that also is there to implement programs or initiatives to address all of the gaps that are identified in the JEs. So now Liberia has developed her NAPS. Thank God that we were able to participate and also give input through the collective efforts of the civil society organizations that we've been working with in the communities, looking at representation. And now Liberian NAPS has been developed, and we can safely say that at least that NAPS have a component that community were able to input to. So these are the kind of discussions and things we want to see through this project.
Now, Leo, what can key stakeholders do to support its PPRR advocacy agenda?
So key stakeholders like the MPhil that normally takes the lead on most of these things and Ministry of Health, they just need to open that door to a more civil society organizational engagement. I will give you one success story which is not directly related to this project, but just to say how
civil society complements the efforts of these agencies. Like recently, we worked on a project with another donor that was really advocating for increment in the health budget. And through our tireless engagement with these various committees at the level of the Senate and the House of Representatives, we have 4.4 million increase in the health budget. But you didn't hear any agency talking about, oh, it was because civil society really engaged and they did this. But the day, sometimes when the advocacy twist on the side, then it'd be like, these people are, political group, they are this, that, they are that, and all different names come.
Yeah.
So we are actually partners. We need to work together because we are complementing the work. So we need a Ministry of Health, we need the government, we need the Senate Committee on Health, the House of Representatives Committee on Health to work to ensure that we have funding available and we have the rightful system and mechanism in place for any pandemic that may come. Today we are hearing mpox. We never knew about mpox before. Now we don't know what will be the next thing tomorrow at daybreak. So we just have to be prepared. No matter how tight our funding envelope is, we have to be prepared because when these emergencies come, it clogs all streams of our government system, our functioning, and it gets interrupted. And no one wants to see that happening, but we have to be available.
Okay, so before I take the lines, I wanted you to talk to us about the impact you hope to achieve from this project, from the Copper C project.
So one of the impact we already started to achieve, like I said, we wanted to see community participating in these various platforms. Take for example, we have the One Health platform, which is being chaired now by the Vice President, His Excellency, Jeremiah Kuhn. So the One Health platform is a platform that brings all stakeholders together, not leaving anyone behind. For any sector, for any priority areas, they should be at the table to get involved in health-related issues. So these platforms want to see communities involved. We want to see everybody at the table so that their little voices can be heard, so that whatever documentation that will be developed or shipped, it can have an impact on the population. So that's what we want to see. And we also want to see government-owned willingness and the power to ensure that these structural mechanisms are supported with the necessary resources so that they function well and makes us prepared for any pandemic or epidemic that may emerge.
Okay, Leo, thank you so much. At this point, we can now open the lines to interact with the public.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Leo Tia is the Executive Director of the Youth Network for Positive Change. We can now open the lines and hear from you. 0777 700-995, 0770-942-817. We are told the CPP political leader, Mr. Alexander Cummings, is addressing a major press conference today. Cummings is expected to talk about governance issues in the country. That is going to be somewhere around 12. That's why we are told Cummings is going to have a press conference today. Let's hear you here. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Gordon Wanda, and I do know you for my resident in Princeton.
Yeah, Willow.
Yeah, let me commend your studio guest for the Senate presentation this morning. I think it's a very good initiative, but I just want to ask a question. So I got my degree in public health at the university, and I really want to become part of that organization. So I don't know what it's open to everybody or how it's left. So I really want you to sit down.
Okay. Can we talk to another caller? Yes, we can. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay. My name is Patrick F. Wee, and I'm calling from the Federation of Liberian Youth, and I'm the county coordinator for Maserati.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Jackson, I want to say, thanks to our young people who are in the office, in the studio there, who have been making impact. And I think on two separate occasions, I had an opportunity to go for me.
Hello?
They have been making. Hello?
Yeah, Patrick, go ahead. You are breaking. You're coming broken.
Yes. I said on two separate occasions, I was able to, go for stakeholder, interaction or forum. And then I heard about these guys, impact they are making in their areas or on projects.
Okay.
So I want to, appreciate their effort. And besides that, I have been thinking to get in, contact with them. As a national youth body, we take a survey and get to reputable institutions that are making impact in the various communities. So for my office, I'm willing to work with them, and then I will also appreciate that they can send me their number. We all can work together because there are many things that they are doing. We have to catalog in our programs as well. It's not only about our central office, but we also get to other organizations that are in the community, like Borough of Nukuta, Pinsville, and whatever. So I want to say congratulations to them. Our arms are open to them, and then we can work together on more bigger projects as well. Thank you today.
Okay, we got like 6-7 minutes to go, so we will just let's get one more caller, then we call it. We'll go back to them. 0777 700-995 0555 995 995 0555 026 995 are the other numbers. We can get a caller, then we can go back to them to respond to some of your concerns. If we can, let's hear you. The executive director made his way. He's already here, even though no time, but it's okay. Yeah, you heard some of the concerns.
Yeah, so I want to say thank you to our callers for such concerns. So the first caller asked how can he join the organization UNEPO. So Youth Network for Positive Change is an organization with 8 staff. We are more not of a voluntary base, but we are employment based. So I will ask the caller to keep watching out for opportunities on our website and social media pages, because most of our interventions are project based and we pay staff. So there are other opportunities for young people, like we have our youth empowerment programs that is held quarterly, through which we recruit interims from diverse institutions to come and serve as interim at our organization. So once he keeps watching out on our social media pages, I think there will be an opportunity or a window where he can be able to apply, he or she can be able to apply to be part of the team. Thank you.
You want to say something before we go to the ED? Okay. Yeah. Leo. What else you want to say? You were around here when you were calling, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm almost here. Yeah. Thank you, Clarence. So, I was so excited to listen to a caller who said he has been in a meeting and then he heard about the impact we're doing. That makes me more energetic to do what we're doing. And I think a caller was asking about UNEDPO, the meaning of UNEDPO, right? So UNEDPO is Youth Network for Positive Change, and we preferably like to be called UNEDPO for short, and that's our acronym, and that's one of the names people know us more about than just the Youth Network for Positive Change name. But on the overall, we are hoping to keep working and advocating, because we have an advocacy agenda through this project also, and our agenda is mainly about now moving to the next level. Now that we are working and collaborating with these various agencies, now to have set priorities. So set priority comes with there will still be gaps, despite we are making some progress. So these remaining gaps that are within, we should be able to fill in those gaps. And one of the gaps that we're talking about now is, like I said in my remarks, setting aside specific funding for pandemic preparedness. So that also helps the health emergency system and training health workers, training communities, So we have champions. So we call them PBR champions. We want to identify them, people that will champions pandemic preparedness issue. So we go to the House of Representatives and say, okay, this honorable member, could champion our issue, could be a champion to continue to raise the voice on the floor for pandemic preparedness. The same thing in the Senate and at the ministry and from civil society angle to ensure that everybody come together. Because at the end of the day, like I said, health doesn't come for the old, doesn't in diseases or sickness don't come for old, young. It comes for everybody can contact it. So we all just need to have our hands on decks and ready to address the challenges that will come.
Okay, madam, let's hear your final message. We'll go around the table.
Okay, so the other caller who asked to get in contact with UNEDPO, we have our social media pages, Youth Network for Positive Change on Facebook, on Instagram. We also have a website that he can follow us on and like our pages also, in order to be in collaboration to get information that will be posted and shared online, so that he can stay abreast with all of the ongoings within the organization.
Okay.
So additionally to what my colleague have said, our web address is www.younetpo.org. So when you want to get in contact with us, just visit our website and message us directly, and we will get in contact. So my parting comment is I really want to appreciate the donor of this project, that is Global Fund, and our prime implementer ACT, that is Art Africa, it's the African Coalition on TB, and all of the stakeholders that have been working with us simultaneously to ensure that we have come this far, and the achievement we have made on the Copper C project relative to inclusive participation in PPR processes in Liberia. Thank you.
Okay, Edie, let's hear you.
Thank you, Clarence. So, pandemic preparedness and response, that's what we've been referring to as PPR. So, those who may not understand the terminology, just know that whenever you hear PPR in any space, it's talking about pandemic preparedness and response. And we want to be grateful to our partner at Africa and all of the key stakeholders that have worked with us closely on this project: the Ministry of Health, MPhil, the National Disaster Management Agency, other civil society organizations, NORD, and all other stakeholders that have worked with us and continue to work with us. We are grateful and we look forward to championing this issue together. And also thanks to the OGFM family for giving us the time to be able to talk about this project and our institution, the things that we do.
Okay, thank you ever so much. Thank you. Let's take a break. We're coming back shortly. We expect Charlie Bronskin. Councillor Charlie Bronskin is supposed to be here any moment from now as our guest on the second segment of the show, right here on 99.5. Let's take this patriotic song as we await our guests.
Declaration of Independence.
Thing happening. And the Unity Party men are criticizing the men and say, oh, the president is not supposed to do the one. Then the CDC men will look for other pictures of presidents in other countries who've done similar thing and they will post it and say, but it's not strange. So yesterday, when President Joseph Boakai, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, was carrying a pickup to inspect the military. By the time the CDC started posting it, oh, you see the president is incapacitated. The president ain't get the strength to inspect. Oh, the Unity Party men started looking for pictures all over the world of other presidents too who did inspection based on the. But the point we're trying to make the Unity Party people, they think that's strange. Presidents can use comfort. My only kind of thing is, look, Sometimes in some of these countries where the president will use a car to inspect the troop, the military is huge. Like for example, maybe the French military, you expect Emmanuel Macron to walk that one like almost whole half a day. But we have a small army size on our small field. The president could just walk and do the inspection. But I'll talk about that one tomorrow. Okay, yeah. So by the time the CDC men started posting the president in the picture inspecting the crowd, the troop, oh, Unity Party men, they started going for Macron picture, the other picture, the other president picture, the other. So I just sat there and said, yeah, we in a cycle. We in a cycle. Everybody is defending, what they believe in. Everybody is defending their leader. Sometimes it makes it difficult. And we're not used to certain things in the country. We're not used to people criticizing their own government. But in other democracies, that's a common thing. If the government do good, the people will criticize. In fact, officials will criticize. Senators, but it's not common. So in Liberia, if you are a Unity Party president, for example, and you criticize the party and the government, people say, oh, the man criticizes your own party. They make it look like you've committed the worst crime in the world. Our guest is already here. Her name is Charlene Brunskin. She's a lawyer, a lecturer at the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law, a daughter of erudite lawyer Counselor Brunskin. She will run now with Alexander Cummings as a vice presidential candidate in 2011. Where is she? 2023. Where is she now? What is she doing? Charlene, good morning to you, and I want to say congratulations. And publicly again, I did it privately, but let me apologize. I wasn't able to come to Baza. You invited me to come for that wedding, but I wish you well, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, my brother. Not only did I invite him, he promised me he was going to be there.
I was going to be there. Hey, Charlie, I said sorry again. But it's okay. How's okay. Mr. Dennis?
Mr. Dennis,
so I should now learn to say Counselor.
No,
not yet.
It's Counselor Brunskin.
Okay, but why I wanted to say?
Because I know you.
Why is Mr. Dennis, by the way?
Mr. Dennis is doing great. Okay. I hope he's listening. He is, at the central bank. Okay. So, and he is one of your ardent listeners and supporters. He really enjoys you and enjoys your show. So, thank you for having me. I want you to know this is my brother. Some people don't know about me and Clarence got some kind of
some kind of relationship. How the man not enjoy me, the man want woman for me.
Exactly.
So, you're pretending.
Y'all was supposed to use him good. Y'all was supposed to eat that man money
you
good.
Were there pleading for the man when the woman want to strike the man. You dare you in defense. But it's okay, Charlie. How is life after all these runarounds and these political things, man?
Life is great. Clarence, life is short. I always, when you have experienced loss, you see life differently. Our days are not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Our days are numbered. So you must live life to the fullest. You must forgive often. You must be grateful. So I always have a grateful heart for what God has done for me. My life is good. I thank God.
Jacob Jala would say life is a celebration.
Amen. It's a celebration.
Yeah.
And life, I was listening to something this morning. Life is a collection of a million moments. Every moment counts. Every moment matters. Not every moment will be celebratory, but every moment has its own significance. So we live each moment as if it's our last.
Okay. What are you doing now?
I am doing what I was doing before. Okay. I run a very successful law firm. I'm a professional, Clarence. I am not a career politician. I'm a woman who, one of the few, and I always say this, women who has a premier law firm in this country. I employ Liberians. I have Liberian lawyers. I have legal assistants who work with us. We position ourselves to be one of the best, one of the providing excellent standards to national and international clients. I am on the board of a number of a university. There's the New Harvest Intercontinental American University, which is formerly Bethel. Okay. So it is now licensed to provide higher education. We're doing some great work there. What else am I doing? I don't know anything. I'm still running the Bromskin Family Foundation. I have 2 children.
You still lecturing in the law school?
I am not, because I took a break. I had to take 2023, and then last year I just rested. But I will be resuming lecturing. I intend to do it, so we just have to see how that works out. There's a new law school as well, so we'll see
Yeah, that's
which
right.
of the two.
Okay, that's fine. So that one, do you have to have a first degree to go there?
Yes, both law schools you must have a first degree. Global, all over the world, most law schools you must have a first degree. The law is a professional degree, so you must have your first degree. We need better lawyers.
Yes, man. So our sympathy again, man, to the people of Bassa. They lost another superintendent, former Eddie
Levi Williams.
Eddie Williams.
Yes,
Eddie Williams.
yes.
And then the other time was Julius Bonner.
Oh.
Julia Bonner, yeah.
Yes, it was such a shock with you. Julia Bonner and I, we were opponents, we were adversaries at one point in time when we were both running for the House. But they called her the General, because she was a woman of strong character. She had been in the military. It had come to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She was a strong woman. I think she exemplified women leadership, what it means to be a Bassa woman. You see that, one thing y'all will not say about us, there's no shortage of leadership when it comes to Bassa women. The pro temp is a woman from Bassa. We have a number of, right now the Minister of Commerce is a Bassa woman. I try to lead as an example of a Bassa woman, who is strong and worthy of leading this country. So Gia Bonner was one who we greatly sympathize with. It was a great loss to us.
Okay. Charlie, did the going election change anything from you? Has anything changed from you?
It significant change, but very good change. Clarence, I grew personally. I learned some. Liberian politics is not a small thing.
Really?
Papa. Look, I have always been one to never settle for my mentality. The way I think is very different than the way most people think, and I give all of the glory to my father. The way he raised us was never to settle for less, never to take the easy route, always to take the chance, take the risk, push for higher, push the envelope. That's how we were raised. Even when my father was living, I didn't join his law firm. I established my own law firm. People were saying, "But what kind of woman?" They say, "You got Councilor Bromsky as your pa." My father always said, "Go on your own, push higher." So I took a great chance, obviously, when I moved from running for representative to running as a vice standard bearer. To many people, it was not a good decision. But when I talk to my peers and I talk to people who share similar life views, many of them say it was one of the best decisions you could have made. You could always run for representative. 2029 if I choose to, 2035. But not everyone, and not often do you get the opportunity to be asked, because you don't run for vice president, you are asked to join a ticket. And me joining that ticket put me in rooms to have conversations about the policies, the forward movement of our country that I would not have had the opportunity to had I remained as a running representative. It also allowed me to be recognized in the region that in ways that many people don't know about. It gave me an opportunity to even push myself to campaign nationally in this country, to withstand the attacks, the lies, the vitriolic language that has become part and parcel of our very negative politics here in Liberia. To be a woman subject to that, I grew substantially and significantly. I regret nothing. I have no regrets.
Were you at some point sitting somewhere, probably listening to the radio or reading the papers or on social media? Did you see something strange about yourself that you were saying, is this me? Are you serious?
Every day. People say I took $3 million from Cummings. I mean, the lack of reasoning among our citizens in this country. Where Cummings, maybe. But to give me $3 million, to give me $1 million, to give me 500,000, whatever amount, to say I want you to be my vice standard bearer. And people really took that and ran with it. Even today, people will say, you greedy, you sold your birthright, even though I don't know what's the birthright. But this is our body politics. And it's a shame because these are people who sit behind social media, sit on a phone and attack attack. I have a family, I have children, I have a husband, I have my reputation, and they break apart a reputation that they're not able to build themselves. So Liberia, these are some of the things, but obviously we put our sayings out here. Nobody said it was going to be a walk in the park, but there were so many rumors we heard. Even I was joking with the pro temp the other day, and obviously I'm sure we'll talk about the reconciliation.
Yeah, we'll come there.
But I was just saying how somebody, when they found out we reconciled, somebody who wasn't happy with the reconciliation went and said that I sold the party that this week go Donyamli and Delon. I get D for party. I get tiger for party. How do I? But it is just what Liberia has become. You can say anything you want to say. You can abuse anybody. You can accuse anyone.
You think it's mentality issue? When do we change our minds and our attitudes?
We will change our minds and attitudes only when there are serious consequences. Only consequences change the actions of people. Let me say something. I was in Bassa on Monday at the opening of the Second Judicial Circuit Court, and the Chief Justice, Justice Sienna Yo, was present. I don't know if you've sat with this woman before, or you have sat. That she does not play. She's a woman who is very strict on decorum. So we are sitting in this session. The bailiffs, one of them got her hand, her pocket, he leaning side. She put him outside. You are in my court. I am the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Look how you standing like the lawyers making noise, the people making. When we start to have immediate and substantial consequences for bad acts in this country, people will behave. So when she put that bailiff out, every other bailiff stood at attention and took their job seriously. We are a country where we do not like to be held to a certain standard. We are a country where if you decide to be different, if you decide to hold your lawmakers accountable, if you decide to hold your leaders accountable or hold yourself accountable, you are seen as someone that is anti-Liberian. If you decide to take a risk to do something greater than yourself, you are seen as anti-the. So we have to change. It is mentality, but we'll not change until there are consequences. Somebody, a big person in this country, was falsely accused on Facebook a couple of months ago, and the person came to me and wanted to file a defamation lawsuit. And the person was ultimately advised against filing it because it was just going to open a Pandora's box. But in my heart, I said, this person should file this lawsuit until we start to have that person was sitting on Facebook lying on a leader in this country and falsely accusing them. Until they are summoned to court for a defamation lawsuit, they will continue to do it. We have to start holding ourselves to standards, and there being consequences for bad acts at every level of society. When you see what's happening in the house, when you see what's happening in the executive, it didn't start when they got there. It started when they were in the community. It started when they were children, when they were on Facebook. When we just let anything go in the country, no standards. So about that, where we are now.
Now, you started an effort in Buchanan to run as a representative. Most of your peers, most of the young people, they were chanting the slogans all over the place. Charlie, we won, and all these kinds of things. Not knowing Elizana Cummings was sitting somewhere, probably put together a team that was scouting, and they realized you have a lot of potential, and they say we can rally and talk to her, to get named as the running mate. Was that something that you were very careful about? Did you go back to Buchanan to convene a meeting to say, this is it, what do I do?
Yes, Clarence. I'm a prayerful person. I'm a prayerful person, and I'm a person that proceeds with caution. Although I take risk, and I believe in risk taking, I take calculated risk. I prayed. I consulted. We waited, and we were given a very short period of time. We were given 2 weeks to make that decision. It was not an easy decision. My husband is listening to this. It caused even confusion between the two of us. I would be honest. I mean, the time has come. He did not want me to take it. He didn't want me to take it. And Charles is not a political person. He was thinking about his wife, his fiance. What does this mean for you? What does the future hold for you? What's going to happen? I mean, he's a man, so he was very protective of me. We went to Bassa. Not only did I consult with my team, we actually had a town hall meeting.
Really?
Oh, we had town hall meeting
on the subject.
On the subject at the fairgrounds. We told people on the radio, please come. Team Bromskin wants to have a consultative meeting. Many people were not happy, but many were in support of it. And Clarence, sometimes we are so short-sighted in our vision. I understand that people wanted me to stand and to remove, at that time, the current lawmaker. Number one, there was no guarantee. We have this discussion all the time. People say, you're winning that election. Nothing is certain in Liberia. But number two, I'm a woman from Grand Bassa County. My father was a senator of Grand Bassa County. My grandfather was representative of Buchanan. My great-grandfather, Walker P.R. Bromskin, was senator. This reason I say this, we have a long history. I love my county. I love the Bassa people. We are plenty. This is not mean. It's not take away from my love for all Liberians. But we are one of the most populated tribal groups. And we're so lagging behind in so many ways. This would have been an opportunity for somebody from our county to be on the national ballot. Was I sure Mr. Cummings and I were going to win? Of course not. There was no guarantee. But guess what? Bassa had someone on the ballot. Bassa could consolidate. There was a possibility that something good could come out of the Bassa for the Bassa people. So while my people in Buchanan did not want me to run, some of them saw the potential, the possibility of something greater for our county. So these were some of the discussions that we had. And I'm talking from Bassa now. Your question was from Bassa.
Bassa, yeah.
So everyone else who is listening, please don't feel that we are excluding you from this conversation. But we're talking about Bassa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least you went back home and you had the conversation. Did people say to you, Charlie, 2029, you can come back. We'll be here for you. Go. Did they guarantee that?
No. Nobody they didn't guarantee. In fact, some people were some people were fast. Some people say you come back in 2029, we'll be fast. Our people. But I love her. I was just in Buchanan 2 weekends ago. This gone week, 2 weekends ago. And our people were there showing love. I have received text messages. We're waiting for you. We just had the traditional wedding in Buchanan. That's my county. So they were upset. Many people in Buchanan City were not happy. But I think they will understand.
Okay. Now, your selection by Cummings provided you the opportunity to go more close to him, go close to him. And I know it was an everyday thing because, as a matter of fact, you would have been the vice president of the country. You would have been Cummings' vice president. Now, do you think Cummings is the man he say he is? Do you see that leadership in him? Would he have been intentional about changing the country? Did he say to you, Charlie, if we win these elections, we will be as practical as possible? Did you see that?
Yes, I did. I didn't know Mr. Cummings very well. Let me be very honest. We had worked together, but not, until I was asked to be the vice senator bearer. Mr. Cummings is, and I believe this, has the potential to be one of the greatest leaders. I think that, we talked about issues that were so important to him, especially the economy. We talked about how things will be done differently with respect to corruption, with respect to holding people accountable for their actions, these same consequences that we talk about today. He is an introvert. He's a quiet man. So he comes across, some people would say, the man is, he proud, he arrogant, he this. But he's very introverted. He allowed me to lead, which I think is something very important. There are a lot of leaders who tend to be threatened or intimidated by those who are their deputies or immediately under them. He allowed me to lead. He allowed me to innovate when I was running the campaign in the Bassa Belt. He has potential to be a great leader. I think that, I think if I were to give him any advice now, it is let the people see you. And I think he's having some, big media
press conference
today. Let them get to know who you are. I believe that Liberians will be looking for an alternative. I keep saying this in 2029. I don't think it's good for our body politic for the pendulum to continue to swing between two national parties. Somebody say, "Oh, but in America that two-party state." When you go on Facebook and you see some of the comments, America that two-party state, we can have two-party state in Liberia. Mm-mm. The difference between the U.S. political configuration and that of Liberia is the U.S. has two very undeniable, distinct ideologies and philosophies between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. You know why the two of them, they are polarized in their views of governance and policy, all of that. In Liberia, and this is once again not an insult to these two big parties. The CDC and the UP, I don't see any distinction in their ideology and in their policies. I think the distinction is party identity. I identify with UP and its leader. I am a seditian and I support its leaders. Some people will say, well, CDC is the party of the masses. UP tends to be more elite. What do they call elite and masses? All of us sitting here suffering. All of us, we get LEC. We get you. Liberia, it cannot be about elite or masses. Because you see the masses also supporting the Unity Party, and you see people who are intellectual and political elites in the CDC. So if Liberia is going to be serious and say we are going to identify ourselves by our party politics, let it be ideology. We had the Propo agenda. Now we have the arrest. And it was a raid for arrest or some rapid something, and then arrest. Oh God, I think it's a rap. Something they just did when they went to Bassa, they just launched. Okay. It's part of it's the arrest agenda, but there's I can't remember, forgive me, to UP. But anyway, I don't see the distinction in these two. Which party is saying that we need to reduce the number of employees in the government, that we need to shrink government and we need to increase private sector? Both of them are saying, okay, let's increase the private sector, but not necessarily to the consequence of making sure that our policies and everything we do reduces government waste, government spending. We cut the number of civil servants by half. And I'm not proposing that this is the best thing for Liberia, but I'm giving an example of how ideologies can be distinct. Mm-hmm. Can one party say, we are going to now make sure that we tax the highest percentage of earners in Liberia, that we make sure all of these properties that are owned by, and I'm going to say something very controversial. We have properties sitting here, undeveloped land, up and down Tupman Boulevard, with families who own this land. Some of them sitting in America, some of them sitting in Liberia, but refuse to develop the land. Can we pass some kind of radical policy that if you don't develop your land within the next 10 years, the government, I'm giving it something very radical, will use eminent domain and take on this land and start to develop it so that not only are taxes paid, not only is there development, but what are the policies that one of these parties is giving over the other? Liberia, but we're sitting there, we are loyal to these two institutions. And let put Liberty Party there too. I don't want CDC and UP to think that I'm here attacking them. Even LP, even ANC. We will die for these political institutions, but the ideologies that they espouse, we don't know what they are.
Now, who fills in this? Who fill in this gap, Charlie? Especially at the time when these are the two popular political parties in the country. I'm not sure, anybody going to come from anywhere and steal the show in this contest. Who's going to fill in this gap? If it is not a UP, it's not a CDC, who's coming? And to what extent will Liberians buy that kind of ideology that this person can make the difference? Because I think his leadership will be based on policy issues.
So let me say again, my position on this microphone, on this show today, it's not that we should not have either UP or LP or CDC. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that Liberians need to start aligning themselves with ideology and not with political institution. So if the question is what happens in 2029? Because the average Liberian is not going to change the way they think because Charlene Bromsky is on the radio telling them to change. So if the average Liberian is saying, okay, our party, we're not leaving from CDC, we're not leaving from Unity Party, we're staying the way we are, then there has to be an alternative individuals who are coming with the policy directives, with the philosophy, the ideology, the values that will change the trajectory of this country. And then perhaps we partner with one or the other institution. Because I have to be a practical politician, right? I know that as it stands now, the two largest voting institutions are these two. But can we find individuals who are not going to align with CDC or Unity Party simply because of partisan reasons, but who have the ideas, the policy, the backed, evidence-based policies, and then perhaps we'll say, okay, we're going to partner with one or this other institution to try to get the votes and move the country forward. Who will that person be? I don't know. But there are quite a few who are preparing themselves for 2029. We're not yet to talk about it.
Except that the way politics is in this country, most of the time, these political parties are not based on let policy thing one side. Most of these political parties are individually driven. That's the word I'm looking for. The CDC, it has to be a George Weah.
Yes.
Since 2005, it must be a George Weah.
Yes.
He will always have to be there. He is the guy who the people think is from the slum community, from Jubraida, Unity Party. It will have to be a Boakai. And, once, I don't know, how do we change anything around if the new phases are not coming on? For example, in 2011 when Councillor Winston Totman became the showman of the CDC? I'm not sure the CDC performed the way it should, it being a George Weah. So different persons are attached to this political party as the phases. When do we see, for example, the CDC bringing in somebody strange, a name that is above the Unity Party too? Not a political person, but somebody from... Do you see us going to that anytime soon?
I think we need to go to that. We need to. It is an absolute must. And once again, this is not to take away from the President Boyka, or to take away from the former President Weah. But let's even look at Unity Party. Unity Party has a more immediate need to begin to think about the changing of the guard than even CDC. Because Unity Party has a statesman, a standard bearer, who is an elderly man, who will eventually, sooner than later, be transitioning. So they need to start preparing the next core of leaders. But these core of leaders must have a changed ideology. They must be respected in their institution, not simply because they are from UP or from MDR, but because they are bringing compelling arguments to the table. Clarence, am I hopeful this will happen? No. But do I want it to happen? Yes.
Let's move on, Charlie. Let's talk a little bit about the Liberty Party.
Yes.
Your party has been at conflict with itself.
Yeah.
At some point, you get involved, you attempt to set up a committee. Ability is not listening. Nyomli, DeLong on one hand, they are not listening. You are going back and forth to the Elections Commission. The elections are now over. Ability left.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the recent reconciliation effort captured Martin Kola. I didn't see him. I could be wrong. But let's talk about the party recent reconciliation effort. What does it seek to do beyond just parading that day and making fun political speeches?
Thank you.
Are all of you honest and sincere about this reconciliation? Are you going to forgive and reach out to people? Example, I was talking about Martin Kola. Yeah.
I don't know if everyone is sincere. I know I am sincere. And that's the only person I can be responsible for. And yes, Martin Kola is the Secretary General. He and, Dillon, who obviously the two of them had a big falling out, are working very well together. I like what you said. It must not just be about the aesthetics of it, the fan pictures, the parade. What is Liberty Party's vision for the country? Some people have already started to criticize, to say, oh, but you're already part of the ruling administration. You are part of the rescue mission. No, we are not. We are an institution that has varied and diversified individuals. We have people who are in the government. We have people who support the government. We also have people who consider themselves opposition. But that will be the beauty of Liberty Party. That will be the thing that will make Liberty Party rise to the top, because we will coexist with varying viewpoints. There will be some of us who will be constructively critical of the Unity Party government. And I said that in my speech. Jacob Smith, who is, I call him my big brother, who they used to we call him the last man standing, because he's very close.
Always been with them.
Always been with LP. So when I call him SG with a big S, when SG went to go speak at the convention on Saturday, he spoke to the rescue mission. And then I came after him and I said, I speak to those who are not part of the rescue mission. We will be an institution that will applaud you and support you when your policies, your actions are in the best interest of the Liberian people. But we will also be constructively critical of your actions. And I think any good ruling administration will welcome that. So I just want to say, for Liberia, Liberty Party is going to be the premier institution, because we will have people who will stand against certain actions of the government, and we'll have those who will support. What better can you ask for? So I think if we just keep our eyes on the prize, care about the Liberian people, recruit the very thing I talked about, recruit people who share our ideology in a better Liberia, a reconciled Liberia, a reformed Liberia. And we have people, Clarence, who are already knocking on the doors to come to say we're interested in joining the party. We want an alternative. We want to be part of the alternative. We can't find space in UP. We can't find space in CDC. Well, guess what? There's a rebirth. There's a new child. There's a new institution on the block who has gone through some difficult times and now find ourselves in a stronger position, and we welcome all Liberians who want to join us. We don't know what 2029 holds. There will be some collaborations. We may go with one of these two parties. We don't know. It's not my place to say. But what we are saying is we're opening our doors to like-minded Liberians who want better and believe we can have better.
What do you do beyond that program that day in the context of reconciliation? What do you think the party can do?
In terms of what? In terms of reconciliation?
Reaching out to the... Yeah. For example, someone was asking me the other day. Now, the person said, Clarence and Nobility have left the party. In the party's quest to reconcile, they even reached out to him to find out for him, are there possibilities of you coming back, Berite? We want a united Liberty Party. That was the vision of Brown Skin. Can you...
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that question. Yes, we have reached out. Clarence, let me just say, it's not my place to say, but the Senator of Montserrat, Darius Dillon, and Musa Belete are very friendly. We were at Senator the Pro Tem's house last week before the reconciliation. Me or the Pro Tem, Dillon, Jacob Smith, and this Victor Allison, the young man who works with my chief of staff. And we called Musa. And we said, Musa, we at the Pro Tem house, we were teasing him, are you coming to the convention? He said the reason he could not come was because he was in Nimba for I think Smith Tobes.
Yeah, or Peter.
Peter Tobes, not Smith. Peter had passed away. Yeah. So I spoke to Musa yesterday. Musa, I texted him in the morning, on my way to the radio station. We have a very good relationship. And I want to speak to Honorable Belete. He is doing his own, that man is very well positioned. Musa is not thinking about Liberty Party in a negative light. He is not, once again, it's not my place to say, but he has great plans. And I'm sure he'll be making some announcements soon. So
I know all those announcements.
I'm sure, exactly.
And I was indirectly talking about something, but it's okay. Let's go
Yes,
ahead.
exactly. When he comes. But we're proud of Musa. We're proud of what he is doing for Liberia. Musa told me, he said, look, Charlene, I have somehow, I've acquired a reputation that I don't like. And he told me he was going to make steps towards changing that. And you see what he's doing in the house. You see what he's doing in Nimba. So, everyone should be given an opportunity of redemption. And Musa Bilete has its own personal redemption mission that he was on. Liberty Party has its own redemption mission. We want to redeem ourselves in the eyes of the public. Liberia as a country needs to redeem itself in the eyes of the region, on the continent, the globe. We can do better, and we need to start doing better.
Are you still in touch with Mr. Cummins?
Yes, I sent him he and I corresponded about the convention. I sent him a message. He told me that ANC would be represented, and they were represented. I have not seen him since December, but I spent some time with him in Johannesburg, he and his Mrs. Cummings. We have a very good relationship. So, yes, we are in touch.
Are you thinking about anything ahead of 2029, Charlie? Whether you go back, Bassa, or do you still want to be in the main echelon of our politics? Or
I want to serve my country.
Okay.
I intend to serve. I don't know what that looks like now. We are having conversations already in the county. I don't think we have to start. National conversations have not started, but we are talking about the county.
Have you met your mother's good friend, Joe Boakai, since he became president?
Not formally. I mean, we've seen each other and we've hugged, but I have not gone to see him since he became president. But I have seen him, out, and obviously he is my president. I used to call him, he's my uncle. He's a statesman, and I give him all the due respect. I think that to lead in Liberia, it is not for the weak. He came in, he inherited a very divided country. When we talk about reconciliation, Liberia needs to be reconciled. So everything he does, he will be subject to criticism, sometimes necessary, sometimes completely unnecessary criticism.
Were you and Cummins thinking about reconciliation? Had you won?
Absolutely. I remember when my father was alive and running, when we talked about reconciliation, among, the religious community, the Muslims and the Christians. We talked about reconciliation, socioeconomic reconciliation, the wealthy and the poor. The reconciliation now it has gone beyond that. The divide is a political divide. It is brother against brother, sister against sister, tribe against tribe, for reasons that we cannot even begin to understand. I don't like you. I don't like your business. You like. I don't like you because you're from the party. I don't like you because you're from the tribe. I don't like you because of the way you talk. We are a nation at war with itself for no apparent reason. We cannot understand. I could even understand the socio-economic divide. So then we say, we tired of the political elite. You're eating our money. You're doing. But everybody fighting everybody in Liberia. So the president, any leader, has to take reconciliation very seriously. President Boyka, I would love for him to be on the radio more. I would love for him to be speaking to his people regularly. I would love for us to know what's happening on a daily basis, what policies he's bringing, how he's reconciling his people. I don't want to hear Unity Party spokespersons anymore. I want to hear from him. Because if I hear from him, then guess what? He's talking to me as his constituents. It is not the UP, the Minister of Information, my beautiful, brilliant sister, Kula Fofana, who I love. I don't want to only hear from them. I want to see the First Lady in the trenches. I want the First Lady to come to my community and sit and talk to the young people. This is what reconciliation is. It is also them reaching out to the masses in the most practical way where we can see and we can feel our presidency.
Charlie Bronskin, an official ranking member of the Liberty Party. She's here as our guest, and we're talking Liberian politics. She says, Clarence, I don't see the difference between the CDC and the Unity Party in the context of policy. They're not saying anything different. Yeah, they have the right to operate as political parties and win elections. Yeah, but what's new? What's different? How do we change it? Let's hear from you. What's your perspectives? 0777 700 99 and 5 0555 02699 and 5 0555 99 and 5 99 and 5. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Dennis. I'm calling from
Dennis, what's your full name?
Dennis, no, I'm calling for UMU.
All right, Dennis.
Yeah. I want to say thanks to Karen Bronsky. She's a young lady and a strong woman too. I want to ask her one question. Charlie, why is it that you let your representative candidacy and join coming as vice president? And I believe that if you are going to go as representative in Grand Bassa, you are going to win it. But I can see you lost it. But I pray that next election 2029 you contest again. The people want you.
Are you a registered voter in the Commonwealth District?
In Grand Bassa?
Yeah.
No, Clarence, I don't have to come from there.
No, I'm asking you the way you say she will win and the people want. I'm asking you, but thank you. It's okay. Hello.
Morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Clarence, thank you. This is Gabe. I'm calling from the Bourgeois Island. Clarence, I listened to the studio guest. They people need to do it differently. So me, I call think Councilor Bronsky are part of still lower the party. I think you be a day well because after my energy, I saw the old man coming in and you be still making mask. I think after the old man, somebody got to come. But because you be, I don't see any other political party have done that.
You heard her talking about all these policies and other issues? Okay, thank you. Good morning, right here.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Clara.
Good morning.
Good morning to Charlie Bronsky. This is Edward Spencer M. Cho.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, I pledged my loyalty to the Liberty Party. Councilor Bronsky is someone I really to believe in him. Why it is true that I voted for Joseph Boaka for the election. There is no political leader that I really had loyalty for compared to the late Councilor Bronsky. I really had love for that party to the extent that I needed to do a free campaign for him without him even knowing me. But Charlie, let me say this to you, madam. You disappointed her, and we will not forgive you. Honestly, having Matthew Joseph sitting as a representative of Pecan City.
You really show the election in a plastic bag? The votes were in a plastic bag?
Let me say this, Mr. Jasmine. I supported Joseph Waka and Charlie and Matthew. You know that very well. But again, I was supporting Charlie. I said that between two and I did my business. Charlie is the best. I know people from the CVC. How cool division? I don't you want to see the ground that the Liberty Party working. They were supporting Charlie. Charlie was having support for all over. But disappointingly, Matthew Joe only worry about Charlie Bronsky. I don't know for Matthew Joe care. The only worry for Matthew Joe at that was Charlie Bronsky. But for Charlie to come out and say,
but that was not an assurance though.
I want to be your running mate. Honestly.
No. She didn't say she want to be running mate. Yeah, nobody can tell somebody say I want to be your running mate.
For me, Madam Bronsky, I will not forgive you.
You register in that district?
Obviously.
Okay. All right, Chief. Thank you. Hello. Good morning. Do we have you here? Good morning.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Philemon, my brother. I'm calling from Capitol Hill.
Okay, Philemon.
Yeah, let me say good morning to Mr. Dennis in studio, my big sister. My disappointment in her was leaving a party that the partisans struggle with when our youth day and joining coming was disrespectful to us. That's my first issue I have with her. Secondly, the reconciliation. After they had left the Liberty Party, they never called those that left with the party, those common people who stood in the rain and the sun, making sure that the party come back to the stage of reconciliation. They never recognized them to call them and say thank you to them. But they are back now saying that, oh, we are reconciled, everything is okay. But then let me send this out to Liberty Party, our leaders out there. They need to be very, very careful. Some of them have system power already. They are running around not doing what they're supposed to do. The people, the common people of Liberty Party need to be looked after.
Okay, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, I'm James Yangbe calling from New Georgia, Carwell.
Yeah, Nangwe.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate the Madam studio, but I also want to encourage her to reach out to the full individual that had a coalition, or Mr. Alexander Cummings and President Boakai, Madam Nyobli Kanga Lawrence, and that of Mr. Bernard Yure. You know, we want to see a force for good, Now that we understand that Baga is about to lead the pace, if you have the Liberty Party, or maybe, for example, in collaboration with the LP, and then go against the United Party and the CDC, we still have the same problem come 2029. So I want them to understand that we still need the same full members that are together to see how best we can form the course. If coming will be going as the president on the ticket, let be something that they will reconcile and we can see our country moving forward. We don't want to see.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes, I'm Wilson Johnson, phoning you from district number 15 from the Queer School Intellectual Center this morning.
Johnson, go ahead.
Let me appreciate shouting for her appearance on air this morning. Let me say this. I think I hail from the Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC. But I think for now we need strong opposition. Because how the government is proceeding, I think Shadi and all of from the Liberty Party angle need to come and see how best we can criticize the government carefully. Because the government, this current government, Charlie is a legal, her professional is from the legal background. I think she needs to bring her legal expertise on the table to see how best we can start critiquing the government for a legal standpoint. So I think the opposition, be it CDC, be it Liberty Party, be it whosoever support the good of Mama Labia needs to come on board and better. Let us see how best we can try to criticize the government for a reliable standpoint.
Thank you, Chief. Do I have you? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
This is Hillary K.D. Bridge, call from the Capitol Hill.
Yeah, Bridge, let's hear you.
So, Clarence, I want to say one to Madam Broskin this morning. I may not agree with her on the discussion on some policy issues, but I will agree with her more on the issue of reconciliation. Clarence, our country, like I always say, everybody is entitled to make an impact in our society. And if we don't make impact, our generations to come will blame us. That's why some of us will take upon our time to make our contributions. So what she said that in terms of reconciliation, I will support her more. The president of the republic, it will be important that at least in a year, the president comes up maybe 2-3 times to speak with the people. I would really, really admire that if the president could come on, on air to be discussing issues in terms of reconciliation on air, though there will be other programs where political party will be invited. And also have that question also goes to her too as well. The point goes to her too as well. When Liberty Party,
you gotta hurry on now because we gotta
yes,
please.
Okay. When Liberty Party lost election, it wasn't because they did not have a good policy or good ideas, but it's because of the strategy, the outreach. So you cannot be right in your air conditioner car every day talking about we put people over or we don't want CDC. CDC and Unity parties are two parties that are grounded.
Okay, thank you. Charlene, let's hear you. And I will also include asking you as to whether the Liberty Party USA chapter was ever part of the your recent reconciliation effort, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever way.
Let me just answer your question. Yeah. Yes, we have Mr. Murphy Gibson, who is the head of the Liberty Party. He's the chair for LP Diaspora, and he was present. Okay. So, yes, we did that. Let me start with the first person who asked. He said, why did I leave the Buchanan representative run? I think he didn't hear the first part of the conversation we had. So to the first caller, I left because I felt, and I know we're short for time.
Yeah.
Because, Papa, sometimes in life, you are given opportunities that are bigger than yourself. Even though it was not guaranteed that Mr. Cummings and I would have won the election, but as it relates to the Bassa people, because the conversation was about Bassa, the Bassa people running as a representative of Matthew Jewell, or the opportunity of Bassa having a vice presidential candidate. Which one you would choose? And you would want to choose the bigger one so that the Bassa people have a vice president? Then you'll say, but everybody knew Cummings were not coming to win, but we knew you were going to win Matthew Jewell. None of y'all knew I was going to win Matthew Jewell. There is no guarantee. And no one also knew Cummings was going to I still don't believe the numbers at the 2% that we got, but that's another story altogether. So sometimes politics is unpredictable. So you should take the risk of doing the greater good than the lesser good. Somebody say he's very disappointed in me because of Matthew Joe. He said he will not forgive me. Baba, forgive me, I beg you. Forgive me. Yeah? I'm nothing for you to say you will not forgive me for. There's a reason behind it. Sometimes you who are on the outside, you don't always know the reason the politician or the leader takes certain actions. I hope you understand that in my calculation, I wanted something bigger and better for the Liberian people. So somebody, I think you know what Philemon said, those of us who left Liberty Party. So obviously he doesn't know what happened in 2023. Because the Liberty Party and the ANC were the two collaborating political parties. So, Papa, I never left Liberty Party. I didn't join UP. I didn't join CDC. I have always remained a Liberty partisan, and I ran on the Liberty Party ticket. He said also, because it's very important that we did not call our partisans to come back. We had fast consultation recently in the past 2 weeks. This whole reconciliation thing has been for the past 6 months. We have reached out to our coordinators. We have reached out to county members. So we call everybody. But maybe you never heard the call, but all Liberty Party members were called to this reconciliation. And so now I invite you to come to Liberty Party HQ. It's in Conga Town. It's not too far from Joa Howard Taylor House. Since you were not called, we are calling you now. So I think, there's so many other callers, but reconciliation is important. This Wilson Johnson, very good point. Strong legal expertise to put the opposition together. And I think that's a brilliant point. But I want to say, for me, I don't like to label myself as opposition. I've said it before. Nobody's going to label me as what do you call opposition? But there will be times when we will have to critically evaluate what the government is doing. And we will have to provide alternatives. That's what made Liberty Party a viable institution when Councillor Bromsky was living. So, Wilson, I agree with you. We should come together and put policy alternatives for the ruling administration.
Okay. Finally, look, and in the context of you say you don't like the idea about opposition, but do you think in the West case, even if the Unity Party government was doing something bad, that the Liberty Party people that you wanted to talk about, do you have the ball to talk about it when people like the DeLong, the Nyombli, all of them are in bed with the Bwaka administration? Would that not undermine the Liberty Party's quest for good governance?
We are very distinct individuals. The pro temp, you're right, and Senator DeLong did help to run the campaign, the rescue mission campaign. I was not a member of that. I was opposed to that campaign. So I have every right as a citizen of Liberia and as a member of Liberty Party to speak truth to power. I think the government would want that. I think President Boyka would welcome. I'm not cussing nobody. I'm not a kind of person who kind of cuss and lie and accuse. But I think President Boyka and the Unity Party would want some as I said, alternatives. Why not seek help? We who are on the outside of your administration should be the ones you should listen to more than those who are on the inside. We are seeing things from a vantage point that you cannot see and that your executives will not see. So I think President Boycott should welcome a robust opposition community. So yes, I'm free to speak, and I'm sure the political leader of Liberty Party understands that. And she will not silence, I don't think she will silence any of us. I think there are people who are in LP who hold jobs in the government, so they may want to be careful what they say, but
Okay, Charlene, thank you ever so much for coming. Is there anything finally, before we leave you want to say?
I want to say first, thank you for having me on. I will continue to engage more. Last year, I took a little bit of a break. I had to rest and, come back out. I think that Liberia has such great potential, Clarence. We're such a small community. We're a small country. If we can just begin to love each other, if we can just begin to give each other grace. And I want to even speak to the opposition today and say, your criticism of the ruling party is necessary, but not everything that takes place should be seen as you should be publicly making a mockery of the ruling administration. When President Weah was in government, I respected his office. We owe the same respect to President Boyka. I think the administration, the opposition needs to be crafty, needs to be deliberate and intentional about their criticism of this government, or else the opposition self will begin to lose spice, will begin to lose credibility if everything we're jumping on. But I also want to speak to the ruling administration and say, Mr. President, you were elected for the people of this country, not for Unity Party only. As I said before, we want to see more of you. We want you to be more inclusive. We want you to reach out to others, not just on tribal lines or on party lines. We want you to reach out to well-meaning Liberians to come and help you. We don't need to be in government. Put together a think tank. Get viewpoints from others. Let's move Liberia forward. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, all of them are leaving us behind. It's time for us to move forward with a united Liberia.
It's time for us to move forward for united Liberia. Charlie Bronskin, Counselor at Law, was our guest today, man. Thanks to all of you, man. We managed to get her. She's been resting too long. Maybe the next time we bring her here in a couple of months, I don't know. We'll look at some of the real political issues on the ground. Until that time, my name is Piso. Bye-bye.